Mike, how long did it take for me and you? When I first met Mike, I didn't talk. I was quiet. I just let him talk and talk and talk and talk and talk. And hey, Micah, hey, Micah. Like, I take a long time to warm up to people and start talking.
It's true.
And you've never been on a podcast before? Because we were talking about inviting you like a week before, and then Mike randomly was like, "Hey, podcast with Micah," and I'm like,
I've never been on a podcast, ever.
"You're infinitely more interesting than your counterpart."
What the fuck?
You're listening to the Art and War podcast with your hosts, Mitch and Nathan. Mitch is a former airborne infantry squad leader who now spends most of his time coaching soccer. Nathan is a professional illustrator and an avid shooter with a couple of years of Canadian military experience. Together, they run the Seaburn art page. Enjoy the show.
Chicken recipe?
Yeah,
air
fried chicken.
Oh yeah, I forgot you guys are fat.
Fuck.
I am, certainly.
Air fryer.
I am
Nathan,
I'm
also
at least
fat. I'll take
15
it.
pounds heavier than I want to be.
Yeah, same, actually.
Yeah. Mike gets angry when I don't show up to the gym, but I often don't show up to the gym.
Yeah, I'm very angry when he doesn't show up to the gym.
Well,
Yeah,
you've been posting all those like motivational like songs to listen to, like the Last of the Mohican soundtrack and shit.
Yeah, dude, it gets you fucking pumped.
I need to try it.
Today we have Mike and Mike. Fuck me in the asshole. See how professional we are?
I will.
See how fucking
He
professional.
Mike
will.
and Mike,
do it.
baby.
We have Micah and some other guy who I guess he does work for sometimes. I don't know.
This
Other
is
guy.
my podcast now.
Yeah, you're just the third co-host. We kind of joke about that.
Actually, yeah,
Go.
that's kind of how it turned out.
Do you want your own podcast? Is that what you're doing? Like you're just kind of using this as like a
No,
vessel?
no, not even. No, thank you. I pass.
Why is that?
We've got too many things on the horizon, I think, to do a podcast right now. Would you agree, Micah?
Considering we're trying to start streaming of our own sort, and that's been like a month overdue, a month, more like 6 months past when our deadline was. We're not starting
behind.
a podcast.
We got too many things going on, so probably no podcast ever. So I'll just you hijack yours every little bit.
Yeah, go for it. Are you talking about the video game stuff? Because I saw like an account like Garand Thumb Gaming. Is that what you're talking about with streaming?
Yeah. So
Yeah.
yeah, we're gonna stream. I'm not
I
gonna
play fucking Age of Empires 2.
Yo, I love Age of Empires 2. Okay, so to be clear, Micah is who's good at it. He's good at gaming. I am not, and Micah will make fun of me all the time because I'm so bad.
He really does refuse to play any game that I beat him at, and usually hops off the game after one round of losing.
Okay, first off, I was getting like drilled in the forehead like repeatedly on Halo. I couldn't even like move, and I was dead. It was hella stupid. But anyhow, so we're gonna see how it goes. I don't know, if people want to just hear me like answer questions and talk, or whether they don't care to watch somebody who sucks at video games. I guess we'll find out in whenever we start it.
I think that's kind of like a big thing.
We've been running
though.
for like, Mitch, when did you hit record? Like 3 minutes ago.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Nathan.
Well, on that note, I guess I'm gonna have a drink.
What?
What are you scooping? Are you putting like Crystal Light in your?
No, dude, I got fucking lychees. I buy these at the Asian market. Put a little bit of these.
Nice.
A little bit of no sugar, either 7-Up or Sprite or whatever, and a bit of vodka, and it is the best fucking drink. I had one at a Korean barbecue.
You're a mess.
I am
You're
absolutely a mess.
Yeah, Nathan, when he starts drinking, it'll be about an hour in when it starts to hit him, and Lord only fucking knows what's going on from there.
I love this podcast.
I do think though, if you guys were to start streaming, both are you going to stream too, Micah?
I think I would be running the stream, not necessarily on the stream. Maybe chiming in as though I do in the YouTube videos.
Okay. Yeah, I think just in general, people kind of like want that personality. And when you do stuff like stream or, like with us with the podcast, I think people are just kind of more interested in you as a person, because they know
100%.
Yeah,
They
know
know who the fuck
Garand
we
Thumb
are.
in the videos, but they don't know Mike Jones, the lover and the person.
Correct.
I mean, it's a character.
It's more real. I think non-video game streams would actually perform better than video game streams. I mean, some people don't want to watch someone be mediocre at video games and they'll tune out. But I mean, talking about guns, gear, night vision, lasers, scopes.
I'm good at
Should I buy a
too.
BCM? Are they good brand?
Are they good brand?
That kind of stuff. And yes,
So
buy BCM, good brand.
A 14.5, but then I heard that if you buy a 14.1, that you save a little bit of length. So should I buy a 14.1 or a 14.5?
Dude, size matters.
That's what I've been trying to tell them. Have we introduced Micah yet? I feel like we need to introduce Micah.
No, we have
Who's
not.
Micah?
No, okay, let's. Yeah.
Well, you're the third co-host now, so you can introduce him.
Micah, introduce yourself.
Yeah, so I'm the owner of this podcast, Micah Mayfield. No, I'm Micah Mayfield. I do all of Garand Thumb's video work and editing, and not sound work because that's what Mike does.
Yeah.
Oh, you do your own mixing?
Mike is very good at it. Yeah, Mike is very, very good at audio. It's scary, actually.
I used to make audio for mods and video games and stuff.
Really?
Back in the day. Yeah.
Oh, we're going to fucking deep dive this.
I'm ready, man. Yeah, that was like my passion when I was younger.
Why didn't we talk about this when you came on?
Why the fuck didn't we talk about it?
Where do you think all of his Half-Life
so
references and Gary's mod stuff comes from?
Yeah.
Oh, so you work in Source?
Well, I worked before that. So I worked on the original. So Team Fortress came out, and before Team Fortress 2 came out, a smaller mod was being worked on called was it Team Fortress Forever, something like that. So I worked on that mod forever, and in fact, I'm not even sure if Planet Half-Life is still around, but a lot of my work was on there. But the whole mod ended up getting scrapped when Team Fortress 2 is announced. But I worked on a bunch of other little projects as well, and yeah, I did sounds forever. In fact, I still have an account where I sell sounds on, I think, Audio Jungle, a bunch of just gunshots and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess plug yourself there.
No, it's really not what I'm like trying to do or anything.
Are you sure it might become you?
No, I've always enjoyed, noises and sounds when I was a kid, and had a crappy little sound recorder, and I did a lot of mixing in Goldwave and stuff, and it's just a little passion of mine.
Did you ever get into like electronic music, or was it specifically like?
No. How did we go from sound effects to electronic music?
I don't know. I'm curious. It seems to be
the
step.
No, I just always listen to movie soundtracks, and I still do. I love them.
Oh yeah, composers who?
I mean, dude,
Hans Zimmer, baby.
Yeah, of course, Hans Zimmer. Just all your normal ones, man. I mean, I love some of the one-off tracks that you get from different guys. Like I love the Last Mohican soundtrack, of course, with Trevor Jones and stuff.
Oh
yeah, they're awesome. Max Richter with Waltz with Bashir. I love all those soundtracks.
Oh, Waltz with Bashir. That is holy shit. Sorry, continue.
It's a good movie. But sounds.
So we know how he started. How Micah, you started doing work for Mike.
Have you talked about that?
No, I don't think we have. I think we should. We should let Micah introduce how.
Okay, he didn't tell the whole story then.
Yeah, he definitely didn't tell the whole story. It was very simple. He was like, "Yeah, one day he reached out. He said, I can edit better than you."
Please. That's fast forward. That's fast forward. I'm gonna murder this man. All right.
Here we go. Getting bodied.
So, first of all, his quality sucked. Like way back in the day, man. It was out of focus. Someone was running with a camera in their hand, like no color grades. I'm like, yo, how come a guy like this can't find a guy like me? That would be awesome. Like we're out here.
It would be like a Tinder for YouTubers.
Right. And so I saw that he had moved from Spokane close to me, and so I was like, you know what? Time to reach out to this guy. I could make this happen. I could definitely make this happen. And so,
wait, you're in Spokane?
Who?
Did I just hear someone say that they were from Spokane, Washington?
I lived in Spokane for a long time.
God, I'm so sorry.
Stationed at Fairchild. No, you're good. You're good. You're good. You're just drinking a little too much already.
Interrupting the guest.
Interrupting Micah.
Sorry,
anyway, disconnect. So he moved near me, and I was like, ooh, I could make this happen. Like, I'm gonna reach out on Instagram. I didn't reach out because I was like, man, he's not gonna see it. So we had a mutual buddy, and there was like a shooting class, and I was like, ooh, he's gonna be there. I hadn't talked to this buddy in like years, but I was like, ooh, now's the time to reach out. Kind of used him. I don't know. Anyway, went to the shooting class and was like, hey, big fan, guess what? I'm a videographer. Mike looked at me kind of just like, oh, yeah, okay, bud. Sounds good. Not really, though. He entertained it. He was like, okay, cool. Reach out to me on Instagram. And I did. And I got radio silence from him. And so I actually got kind of angry, and I unsent the message on Instagram. And I was like, God, fuck this guy. Like, unsend. But then the person that he was originally going to have film, a good buddy of ours, he slept in one morning or something like that, and our buddy called me. He was like, yo, I need you to film. I was like, I got you. Mike was super nervous, and he was like, I don't want this guy filming for me. Like, I don't know what his quality's like.
Dude, you look like a Seattle hipster. I wasn't sure.
I show up in my like Japanese selvage denim and like white Converse. And he's like, okay, this is not it, guys. Let's get someone else. Anyway, it was the World War I trench video, the original one with like
the trench shotgun.
Wait,
trench shotgun.
Was that your first?
The way back in the day, the trench shotgun video, not the like
the
super cinematic one, but yeah. So and I did it, and he was like, oh man, this is pretty good. And long story short, it steamrolled from there until now I'm just full time with him.
Yeah, full time employee.
Initially, I was pretty upset. I was like, man, this guy didn't respond to me.
In fact, I think so. I was originally like straight up. Micah did a lot of charity work. We're paying him like not that much, and then like we were just editing a video, and he was like, we were talking about like he had just was about to quit a job. And he was like, well, you could just hire me full time. And I was like, I don't know if I'm ready for that. And then like we just kind of over like I think drinks.
Literally like 5 minutes in the game room. I was like, but we could do it right now. And he's like, wait a minute. Is this a let's fucking go moment? I remember those words.
Yeah.
Like word for word. I'm like, yo, let's fucking go. And then I was hired full time.
Yep, hired full time. That was
no formal meeting, no conversation, no talking with the wives. It was just like, cool, shake hands.
In fact, we like walked out and we're like, all right, Mike is hired full time. My wife was like, what?
Hell yeah.
Is this your full time thing now? Well, yeah, no, you just went over that. But
for me, this is all I do. Yeah, life is hell.
That's
Well, you put out one video a week, but what were you doing before you were doing work for Mike? Obviously, you have like a film background doing
Actually, funny. No, I was a mechanic for 7 years, just working on Mazdas. Yeah,
really.
I became a master mechanic there.
Can we talk about your anger issues from being a mechanic?
Look, man, I was surrounded by a bunch of angry alcoholic old men. I was a young guy that didn't want to be there in the first place, and everything would go wrong being a mechanic. You put an engine in, and you're like, oh, I forgot to put that like rod spring in, or I don't know, just like camshaft bearing or whatever. I just threw words out that weren't even real parts, and real mechanics are gonna crucify me because I'm like, oh, he says he's a mechanic. But anyway, you get paid per job. So if you do like 15 hours worth of work and you forget one bolt and it's in the center of the engine or something like that, well, guess what? You have to pull that whole engine back out, repeat your 15-hour job, and do it unpaid. It's called flat rate.
What?
Yeah, so I would sometimes go 2 days without pay just because of one mess up.
Did you ever? How many times do you throw?
And there is literally a wrench imprint on the wall where I used to work that says snap on the handle perfectly into the wall. And that will forever be there just because of how angry I was getting. But I actually don't have anger issues. Mechanic work just gives you anger issues.
So you're doing that. When did you start getting so good at doing film and filmmaking?
That's a long story. So me and my neighbor Christian, we grew up doing just like VCR work and just like pretend ninja fights in the backyard trying to record them. And
I've seen them. They're great.
It steamrolled from there. I started doing weddings. It was all on the side though. I never really took it seriously. And my wife would always be like, Micah, you got to stop being a mechanic. And I'm like, well, I want to be a videographer, but there's no possible way I could ever do that. It's a pipe dream. Mm-hmm. And so, I mean, I really spent like hours and hours and hours and hours and hours of self-teaching on YouTube. I didn't ever like formally get taught. Everything is self-taught. It was always a passion, so I'd do really good wedding videos until finally I quit Mazda and I actually got hired over at B.E. Myers on their marketing team.
That's
And
fucking
that's when
awesome.
so I started doing videos for B.E. Myers. Pretty good stuff. You can't find much of them publicly. A lot of them were kind of like more internal / going to other sources kind of videos. But pretty much actually when I met Mike was when I started taking it seriously. Like me and Mike have grown a lot in skill. Like if you look at that trench video versus what we're putting out today, it really doesn't compare.
No, yeah. I mean, we've both gotten, I would say, a lot better. I would say one thing that Mike is really good at is like we definitely try to push camera angles a lot and work with new stuff. I think that's what's so difficult about shooting, right, and making it look interesting is like there's only so many ways I can shoot an AR. Like there's only so many ways I can shoot an
100%.
AR-15 or shoot a rifle or shoot a shotgun and do an interesting drill. Like I can shoot around barricades, I can shoot from cars, I can shoot skydiving. I don't know, but the problem is making it look interesting because everybody has a cell phone. Everybody can record themselves shooting, and it's like, how do you differentiate yourself from literally millions of people who have access to pretty good cameras nowadays? How do you make it look good? How do you keep this type of material compelling? And I think that's kind of been the rat race, on the ground of doing YouTube. And I would say, me and Mike could do pretty freaking good at that, man. It's
100%.
definitely,
Yeah.
it's definitely something you can't rest on your laurels. Like I'd say probably every time we film, we probably come up with a new shot.
Something new every time at least. But
like, wouldn't it be cool if you stood just in front of the muzzle and just shot through the camera?
Shoot through the camera?
Yeah, that'd be so cool, dude.
First ever.
Who's done that? Who's actually shot their camera?
But yeah, pretty much when I met Mike is when I started taking it seriously and really growing. Mike also was the one who, and our fellow Patreons, helped us get camera equipment that I never had access to.
Oh, that's awesome.
I could never really afford the equipment that would take me to the next level. So I was always kind of bottlenecked with my old Canon T3i or no gimbals. Once I met Mike and I was like, oh my goodness, we're going to buy this camera? And then I'm like, no way, this is real. And I actually got to start using it. And that's what took us to the next level. Me personally to the next level.
Yeah. You guys said you use a red camera, I think? No, that was...
We can talk about it. Micah, go ahead.
Shit. I love the shit. Go on.
Yeah, here we go. So
let's do it. This is what everyone always asks us.
I have like 93 requests on Instagram, all like, what camera lens?
iPhone
so this is what's
7
gonna. Yeah, so actually the new iPhone 13 has cinematic mode. And so we've really been using we're using the Sony A7S III. That camera is no secret. Honestly, if people can't figure out, that's one of the most like premier cameras right now. If you need a better camera than an A7S III to think you need to do good work, it's not the camera.
Yeah.
That camera has it all for what you need.
I would say what makes it really good too are the lenses that we use.
We do. Funny enough, our cheapest lens is the one that we use the most.
That's true. Yeah. Is that Tamron or whatever?
It's the Tamron 24 to 70 f2.8.
Such a versatile.
You get a wide angle, you get a zoom lens. You don't ever need to go to 1.4. That's just too much depth of field. I don't know if any of this numbers make sense, but yeah, the Tamron, we got the Zeiss 50 and the Canon 24, which we don't use that often.
No, not too much. But
well, that'll be really useful for our editor, the one that'll be editing this, because we're sending him to. We were talking with the folks over at T-RECCE, and they're going to let him go over there and kind of shadow and learn how to do some shit.
Desert Rats and Charles, those guys are stellar, man. Like, I make fun of T-RECCE a lot for the blue, but like the green and the blue color grades, that makes sense. Like, they're going for a brand recognition look. When you see blue video, you know that's a T-RECCE Arms video. So they're accomplishing what they're going for. And I've seen what Charles and the Desert Rats guy are capable of. They could color grade differently than blue. Those guys are good.
You have to say that Charles is probably... Oh, yeah. Well, Charles is probably the guy, I would say, who really kind of spearheaded the gimbal and follow movements on
Oh,
shooting.
yeah.
Like he
100%.
really pioneered a lot of. It sounds stupid, like making this seem like too much, but kind of the modern kind of filming techniques for shooting that you see nowadays. Like Charles is one of the originals, man.
He did it
really,
before me.
yeah, he really like they do some really interesting stuff, video wise. And Charles and Desert Rats, yeah, they're professionals, man. We talk to them all the time.
Yeah, we're really
Two of you
excited to be
guys.
able to get him out there so he can actually, you know, learn some stuff, because we want to get into some video things soon. Not kind of like what you guys are doing or what, you know, Admin Results is doing. Kind of like how we have our targets and we do the shitty like Mosin videos or something.
Just more memery.
Perfect, man. Yeah, shit
yeah,
posting.
more meme
High 4K shit posting.
4K shit posting.
Essentially. But I got a question for you, Mike. When because you know, you were both just talking about how you guys have kind of improved over time, how, you know, each video it seems like you're trying something new. One thing I've noticed with you since the first video I saw of you, which I told you was the AK video back with my buddy, one thing I've noticed with you is the way that you speak on camera has gotten better, and it seems as if is there a script for some things, or is it like, do you write your script for it and then like there's a teleprompter? Like, how does that work for you? Is this just all off the head?
That's a really good question. Mike is probably laughing because he has to edit all this out. So how I first off, public speaking is difficult, right? Speaking on camera is insanely difficult. I was lucky that prior to doing YouTube, I was a instructor in the Air Force, and so I had a lot of time speaking and talking to people. And I think that really helped me going into YouTube, that I had that experience beforehand, that experience teaching and setting up a structure. So I run it just like I did in the Air Force, or how I was taught in the Air Force, which is I write bullet points and I go off that. So I will have for every video, Mike has seen them. First, they used to be paper, and I have those copies still, the originals. I figured maybe someday
huge stack. Yeah.
Huge stack of all the way back to like my original videos of these bullet point notes that I go through. And now I have them on an iPad, and I just have that iPad and it has like a bullet point. So like, you know, I'll have, you know, points I want to talk about on the weapon, little stats that I don't want to forget, whether it be weight, trigger pull weight, because I measure all that stuff beforehand.
Yeah.
Or
do you have a device to measure your trigger pull?
Yeah, absolutely. We use the Lyman pull gauge.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. So that's a pretty like standard trigger pull gauge. So I use that for all my triggers beforehand to make sure I'm not bullshitting when I'm talking about, you know, the trigger pull weights and that type of stuff. And so I mean, it's something I've practiced at. I've watched. I unfortunately, well, at least I used to. Well, no, I do. I had to watch myself speak in every single video that has come out. I've at least watched those videos 3 times, right? So I've had the unfortunate experience of watching my goofy butt, you know, talk, and it's horrible, right? So you get good because of that. Just like watching yourself shoot.
Yeah.
I really like recommend that people watch and like video themselves shooting, because you're going to notice the things you do. So like going back like 4 years ago to my first videos and watching myself shoot, like I learned a lot. Yeah, you learn a lot. And also, yeah, go ahead, Micah.
It's funny. I say like, man, like moving from the trench shotgun video to now, I personally have gained so much skill. Also, looking at the way Mike talks, it has transformed so much. Like we are both getting better together. Like if you look at what he really was just a dude bro who's like, yeah, so I mean, you don't need this, it's cool, whatever. Anyway, like he himself has like improved as well as me. Like the videos have gotten so much better between the both of us, watching, learning, taking notes. Like we always reference our old videos to see what we liked and didn't like.
Yeah, we do. What's funny is we talk about like camera angles that we've done in previous videos. We're like, oh yeah, let's do that one camera angle. And then either we do it, or when we watch it, we're like, you know, that we're actually way better than what we did back then. Maybe that wasn't so good. But yeah, man, I mean, all this stuff, I mean, there's so much stuff to improve upon when you're running a channel like this. So it's definitely hard to focus. So due to my neck injury that I have, you know, I spend a lot of time trying to be really cognizant of how I talk, because I know, due to just kind of the problems that arise from that I can have a tendency to mumble. So I try to be really cognizant and really focus on my pronunciation as much as possible. everybody, but I mean, everybody has something, right?
Yeah.
Everybody has like something that they have to overcome. And so that's my little thing. So that's kind of what I focus on a lot. Micah too keeps me pretty honest, whether it be shooting or if the video's is shit, if we're recording and something's bad, he'll be like, cut, let's start over.
Yeah, sometimes we'll be like 30, 40 minutes into a video. I'm like, all right, this ain't it. I'm deleting this.
Yep.
We're going to completely restart. Here we go.
Oh, I feel that's so bad.
We did an entire video, like I did an entire 30-minute video, and I felt, when I was an instructor in the military, if you did a really bad lesson, there was a screen that was behind the students, and they'd play this slow motion train wreck. And so as you were teaching, you'd watching the slow motion train wreck. That's what I felt like when I was filming this video. Micah, we got to the end, and I looked at Micah.
It was not good.
And I was like, it wasn't it. He goes, yeah, that was 100% not it. And we just, just wasted an entire filming session.
Away it goes. Yeah, our whole day gone.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's kind of how you improve. I mean, we do it with the podcast. There's times like our editor will send us notes after each episode almost, and he'll be like, Mitch, stop fucking breathing into the mic.
Oh, yeah.
Or he'll be like, Nathan, stop interrupting the guests. Let them talk.
Yeah, that's not going to change. I try.
I think it's good, though. I think it's good that neither of us have an ego attached to it. So if Mike is like, hey, real talk, change this, like audio ain't good here, color grade, no, don't like it, and I'm like, Mike, yo, you sound kind of retarded.
Yep.
Both of us were like, cool, good to go, let's change it.
Cool, face the wall.
Yep. Anyway, that's cool, good to hear. Face wall.
We definitely, I think sorry, go ahead. I just interrupted somebody, I'm sorry.
Oh, I was going to say that honesty, though, is kind of what keeps the quality improving. And, if you don't have an ego attached to it as well, when we were starting this and when I brought on, when Nathan joined, because I was running this a little before, and when Nathan got on, and then we started to, because now we have two other people on top of Nathan.
People always like two people being on top of me.
Yes, you do.
Yes, you do.
But people were like, yeah, you can't bring in your friends into this. And, for a while, I really I'm like, man, like, there's good points. Like, if I have people that I actually like and enjoy being around, like, that could ruin like quality. But I found like if I have the people that I like being around already and they're competent individuals that we're all kind of like on the same page about, it makes it so much better, I feel, than if I just had like a bunch of people who did a job and then shut the fuck up.
I agree, man. I mean, I think finding a good people to work with is one, incredibly difficult, and it's always dangerous bringing friends on. Like I can agree with that. Yeah. And it just has to be like you said. Like you guys have to be having the understanding that you can't take criticism. You have to be able to take criticism and not get angry about it, and that's difficult. That is difficult.
Yeah, you can't have an ego behind it.
Yeah, and it's hard. It's 100%. I think no matter how you kind of do it, it's going to be difficult. You know what I mean? Because nobody likes to be criticized or hear that they didn't do well or something like that. And it's constantly something you're working at. But being able to take that criticism, and especially learning how to give criticism, I think is probably one of the hardest things too, right? Because if something's bad, like it's for a lot of people, it's very difficult for them to articulate that. It's like, hey, how is this drill? It's like bad.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
But why? And that's really hard.
I'm wondering, do you struggle? Because you're in the military and I am too. When I first started actually teaching courses, instead of getting like actual valuable feedback, I'd be like, "Why the fuck are you retarded? Fix it." And like that was my criticism, and like that didn't help anyone. It just made people think I was a fucking dick. So is that kind of something that you've had to evolve with as well?
So I mean, you're in the Army, man, Army versus Air Force. So I've not to say that one branch is better than the other, but the Air Force is better than the Army. But at least in the jobs that I've done, it's always been very constructive. They will say, hey, you did this wrong. This is why you did it wrong. This is what you're going to do to improve it, and it's going to suck. And then you're going to reaccomplish this and be good at that point. So I've kind of always had that kind of going in, but like certainly finding a cameraman that knew drills, because I mean, like we could have other people on besides Micah on the range helping us when we're filming, but like the range becomes crowded. It's so much easier when it's just me and Micah. So having
videos go from like 2 hours of film to like, videos go from like 4 hours to film to like 3 hours, 2 hours to film. Yeah,
exactly. So like having Micah where he knows how to shoot very well, and then he's able to address a lot of the concerns, like is just icing on the cake, man.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to ask you, Micah, if you were into shooting as well, because
go,
I
Micah,
find
go.
it's incredibly valuable when you have somebody that knows what the fuck they're doing. Like Nathan with the guides, I write them for the most part, but like if I fuck up and he's illustrating it, he's like, yeah, you're a fucking retard. This is actually how it goes, and that is just incredibly valuable because having those people. So you shoot, but like.
Yeah,
I don't know. Yeah. Professional
I
podcast.
shoot. This is how I. This is actually like one of my favorite things. Is so I am like the black sheep of the gun industry, where like I look like I should live like downtown Seattle in a apartment and like drink expensive coffee and a hipster, right? I get called a hipster.
He does all these things.
I get called a hipster way too much in this industry, but it's deceiving because I've been shooting since I was little. Like I grew up shooting, and so I'll show up in my I guess you could call it hipster clothes to the range, and Michael have been out there shooting with some buddies, some people that are very good shooters. Of course, Mike is a great shooter. He'll already be kind of showing them up, and they're like, okay, let's shoot against cameraman. That'll be fun. And I like half their time on
narrator. It was not fun.
It was not fun. They're like, okay, you know what? This guy can shoot twice as good as us. Time to go to the bar. Like, I am no Lucas T-Rex arms. I'm not the best shooter in the industry, but I'm pretty good. Yeah, it definitely helps with filming.
Yeah, it does. Well, Mike is also obsessed with Russian weaponry and actually knows more about it than me. So, like on the Russian videos, I actually do rely on Micah for a lot of that information.
We did a lot of pauses and like, hey, that was right? I'm like, no, this is right.
Son of a bitch.
But yeah, no, shooting is my second hobby. Milsim West, airsoft. When I was younger, I was super into the, Alton helmet, Digiflora, Partisan.
You're still into that.
I'm still obsessed with it, man. It's just
were
a
you
vibe.
fucking Slav boo?
Okay, first
here
of all,
we go.
First of all,
you just no, because you got your clone correct fucking AK.
Yeah, listen, yes, okay, yes. Back in the day when I was airsofting, it was all about Russian kit, AKs, all that cool stuff. So I'd like to say that I pioneered the modern Slavaboo, yes.
I respect it. Nathan's having a heart attack now.
He's over here dying. He's like, okay, hold up.
You just declared war in Canada. You just killed a Canadian. He's dying over there.
So do you still do airsoft?
Yes and no. So I was like super into airsoft. I knew Josh and Brian from Milsim West way back in the day. I did some like YouTube videos for them. Super cool guys. Also, like Milsim West is plug the best. Like you guys should go to one.
Dude, I'll do it. Fuck it.
Yes. Yeah, dude. Now I went from airsoft to real guns, and now I'm kind of going back to airsoft. Like airsoft's coming. I feel like it's becoming the hot new thing again.
Yeah.
Dude, you've dropped hella cash on airsoft guns.
I'm not gonna lie. I have spent too much money on airsoft guns recently.
That's not true. That's like spending too much money on guns in general.
Right.
But I was going to ask you about that because it seems like airsoft is like becoming cool now.
It really is.
I can answer that question.
Yeah, I'm curious to see what you have to say about it. Like, it kind of came out of nowhere.
Well, I think it's a cultural thing, right? And we talked about this on our last podcast about bringing in a new generation of gun owners who
there it is.
Airsoft, dude. And so while it used to be that back in the day, airsoft was shunned, right? If somebody showed up and they're like, yeah, airsoft, I'd be like, fuck you, get out of here.
You're a fucking nerd.
Yeah, fucking nerd. But nowadays, people are like, hey, airsoft, like, cool, that's awesome. Did you know that a lot of your skills can translate over that? And I attribute that to good attitudes from like Lucas and other guys out there who help kind of shape the community, and Travis Haley and Mojo and stuff, who are really kind of pioneering that stuff and being like, no, airsoft is cool and like it's a good training thing, and holy shit, it's just fun. Like we can have fun, and I think that's really helped, and I feel like the community has turned where it's accepting of it, which is good because that means more allies for 2A.
it doesn't even need to just be a good, like, people take things so seriously in this community where it's like, if this isn't all or nothing, like like it's retarded. No, airsoft can also just be fun. It doesn't even need to be a training aid.
Yeah.
You can go out with your buddies, shoot them, get hurt, and then go home and be like, guys, that was so much fun. Cool. You don't have to be like, all right, guys, let's have an after action report. What did you do wrong in airsoft? Like, what can we improve? No, you can go out and have fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we kind of talked about this a couple episodes ago with you, Mike, where it seems like there's a lot of people in the kind of gun community that are very fucking autistic when it comes to things. Like I always tell the story with the pickle juice. I mentioned if I'm going on like a long movement and I know it's going to be fucking hot, I'll bring an Nalgene with pickle juice. And people would message me and be like, how much pickle juice? What brand of pickle juice? What's the fucking level of sodium? Like stupid shit.
Well,
like,
so many weird messages about that.
It's imitation, right? Imitation is the most sincere form of flattery.
Yeah.
Like, so people asking you this question is because they see something in you that they want to emulate, and therefore they want to be as close to whatever you do. So I mean, it really makes sense. I don't fault them. Perhaps I thought about this a lot. Believe me, like a lot. That hair is amazing.
It's real, like My Chemical Romance hours. I kind of love it.
Oh my god! But
I mean,
I don't
cameras is the thing, right? Like, how many people hit you up? What is your camera setting?
Yeah.
What LUT are you using? What lens are you using? Like, people want to replicate my style. I'm like, guys, I just found my style. I really think you should do is YouTube how to work a camera, start doing it, and find your own style.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's something we actually got into in one of our last episodes. We interviewed the guy who's doing the SCP thing.
Yeah. We're actually going to be doing that.
Yeah, Stephen Hancock. He mentioned that you're going to be in it, but we kind of got into how in the arts you can kind of learn anything through YouTube, and how art school is entirely just overrated now.
I have learned nothing on my own, dare I say. I'm being honest. Like, I did not open up Premiere Pro and discover Lumetri color by myself. Like, I went to YouTube and someone told me to do that. I'm going to be honest. Like, that being said, hours and hours and hours and hours and hours of YouTube videos, different opinions, not just one Peter McKinnon YouTube video is going to get me there. Yeah, the information's out there. If you research it, you're going to find it. You're going to develop a style of your own.
Yeah, well, and that's something that I translate to because I'm big into soccer coaching, and I was talking to a college about taking a job when I got out of the Army, and I've coached at youth academy professional levels. I've done scouting, and I've never went to like any school. I've never done any degree in it. And the first thing they fucking ask me for is a degree. And I'm like, what the fuck do I need a degree for this? Like, I can just learn by doing it. I can learn by watching other people. And it's the same 100%. Thing with film. How many people, I feel like everybody that I know that does camera work in the industry is very much, one day I got on YouTube or I just started doing it and I fucked up a lot and now I kind of learned and I'm like halfway decent at it now. And
you know what I think the downfall go ahead.
No, you go ahead. I'm busy reading the chat.
I think the downfall of many new camera guys on doing content is, tell me if you agree, Micah.
Oh, I'm curious, yeah.
Super thin focus layer, like
f-stop
of 1.0, and I'm like, it's not artsy if I'm hunting for the focus the entire time.
Yeah. A lot of people think like depth of field equals cinema. No. There's so much more to it. If you don't know how to use NDs, you don't know how to match the shutter to the frame rate. If you don't know how to select the picture profile for what you're doing, if there's just a lot of things. If you're not doing it, like putting your lens down to f1.4 and getting the shallowest depth of field possible, it just ain't gonna cut it.
100%, man.
Yeah.
So when you started doing work for Mike, was it more like did you think that you were going to do it full time eventually, or was it kind of like,
no?
Yeah, I mean, his quality pisses me off, so I want to fix it for now.
It started out as that. It was like it was like, yo, why do we have to have an earthquake every time there's a shot? Like, why do we have to run with the camera in our hands? Like, you could just spend $300 and buy a gimbal and everyone can see what's going on. I'm like, Mike, what? And he was apprehensive at first. He didn't even want to use the gimbal. He didn't want to change anything. I'm like, you need
gimbals are so
to trust me. You need to trust me. That being said, I don't rely on the gimbal. I do handheld, I do gimbal. Certain things demand different things, but yeah.
Well, I think I can kind of relate to it, and you tell me if I'm wrong, Mike. But when you build something up, it's like your fucking baby, and you don't want anybody else to do anything
That's how
to
he
it
felt,
because
guaranteed.
Yeah, and that's how I felt back when. I mean, I eventually gave in. And I'm like, yeah, Nathan being a bard of the page would be a really fucking good thing for it. But at first, I was like, when I had the initial thought, I'm like, nah, his illustrations are good, but my walls of text that I make on Instagram story is much better.
Well, did I tell you about how Micah took over editing?
Oh, this is a good story.
Oh, the little contest, like both you have to.
Yeah. So I did tell already.
It's funny though, because I had the video done and edited before he even started. Like, the contest was to see who can make a better edit. I came back with my edit before he even had like the footage on his computer, and he's like, okay, this is retarded. Yeah, you're doing it.
Yeah, I gave up. After that, I showed it to my wife, Ash, and she was like, wow, that's really good. That's like your best work yet. I'm like, it's Micah's. And she was like, oh, whoops. And so that's how I lost editing privileges.
You'll never get them back, by the way.
I know. I don't want to. Well, we do edit some things together, like some of
the
bigger
really
cinematics.
Big projects. Okay, first of all, sound is actually like 50% of a film. If you have bad sounds, could you imagine like the Avengers using like stock footage sounds like the movie would lose all of it. The visuals wouldn't even look good. Like, sound makes half of whatever you're creating,
including for explaining drills.
Yeah. With our podcast, when we started, like, I fucking hate the first 15 episodes, not because of the guests or because of the conversations, but because the audio is so fucking awful. And it was something simple. Yeah. We had the gain turned all the way down, so you just heard this disgusting feedback. And
was it just
yeah. and I remember being like, what the fuck is wrong with it? Like, I would listen back to it and I'm like, well, we can't like edit it out because for whatever reason it couldn't be edited. And I was just getting so fucking annoyed.
Yeah.
But I do think, like you said, audio makes, I mean, it's 50% of it. Obviously, you need to have 100%. Good content. You need to have good video.
Yeah. I'd say the actually more common of a question that I get, even more so than like what lens, what camera, what color grades are you using, is what are you doing with your audio? Like, so many people ask me what my audio setup is. And it's honestly no secret, because even when I tell them, they go, yeah, fuck that. I'm not going to do that. That's way too intensive. And the fact you're doing that while creating a video a week is ridiculous. What we do to get our gunshot audio is ridiculous. I understand why no one else does it, because at a certain point,
it's too much.
Yeah,
it takes a lot. So we have everything running in through it. So we have a Sennheiser mic, 86C, running in through a Sound Devices MixPre 2. So that records in 32-bit floating point audio. So it's a lot like RAW on camera footage, because you can capture the entire sound wave. Now, however, it's a lot like RAW, and where like if you film something in RAW, like the colors don't look good. Same thing with the audio. The audio sounds like absolute shit. So you have to go in and then know what you're doing on a soundboard and get that stuff balanced out. Otherwise, you just have audio that sounds horrible. So that's why, for the most part, like, you can do that, but I highly recommend like a simpler, like just like a Rode, Video Mic Pro on your camera, because unless you know what you're doing with audio, you're going to be extremely frustrated, and it's not a plug and play type deal.
There's no shot I ever would have done that without Mike, though. I didn't even know what 32-bit float audio was. I'm a video guy, like, through and through. Mike's like, 32-bit float, bro. Isn't this cool? And I'm like, what is floating audio?
Okay, here's why it's so cool. So let me explain it for a sec. I love this stuff. So when on a traditional like sound file, when you record a gunshot, what's so difficult about recording a gunshot is the difference in sound levels between like a footstep and a gunshot, right? They are decibels and decibels apart. And decibels are very powerful, right? Between going from like 5 decibels to like 20 decibels, there is a huge change. So for a microphone to do this, there's a lot of software that comes into play to be able to balance these out. And so that's why gunshots could sound really weird on like an iPhone, where it just sounds like just static, because it's essentially clipping, which means that you're not capturing the entire waveform, you're capturing what it can capture due to how loud it is compared to what's going on around it. So when you take 32-bit audio, this can capture massive. It's like from negative 144 to positive 144 decibels. So you can get an entire wavelength of a gunshot in your audio. Now, the problem then is the peak of that gunshot is on, like I would say, perhaps 70 to 100 times larger than the peak of like speaking and talking. So it's how do you balance that? And that's where it becomes very difficult to balance those out. But once you do, you get these beautiful gunshot sounds because you have the entire waveform in that file, which is incredible.
That makes sense. Kind of like, adjusting brightness comparatively to like you walk from a bright room into a dimly lit room, and the camera would have to adjust for, well, f-stop, aperture size, all of that.
Sure. I mean, it's the difference between like a JPEG and
a JPEG and RAW. Yep,
exactly.
Or in video terms, it would be no picture profile versus S-log versus D-log. All the cameras log footage.
Exactly.
That makes sense.
So it's cool. It's just time consuming because it requires input from both of us, unless you're able to do both.
Yeah, I'm not too sure, because it sounds like it's a really complicated fucking process to have the audio and the video like synced up and have it sound as good as it does. I'm not. Is it worth it for you guys to make it better?
No, better to make it better.
Oh, how to make it? How do we get better?
I'm going to be honest.
I'm not saying it's bad.
Oh no, I do know how to get better.
Okay, let's hear it, because I don't. So
okay, so I talked to an audio guy about this, and so it was one of the guys who did the a lot of the modern Hollywood sounds and all that kind of stuff. And I was like, hey, how are you doing this? And he goes, well, honestly, man, like as you know, in Hollywood, like every shot is set up. Like they're you don't just run and gun. Like every shot is very meticulous with lighting, very meticulous with sound design. So he was like, you need to have like 5 separate mics recording different parts at different gain levels in order to get a higher fidelity. So one mic shotgunned at the feet, one mic shotgunned at the gear, one mic shotgunned at the action of the weapon, one mic shotgun just forward of the muzzle, one shotgun mic behind the body. And then mixing all these sounds together, you're going to get this very rich, very cinematic audio. So we could, theoretically, we are capable of doing that. However, what we are not capable of is doing that once per week.
Cool. Yeah. And also spending $10,000 on 6 different microphones.
That's doable.
Well, that's kind of what I was getting at, though, because for example, with like TVs, I read something the other day how with the TV, the quality can only get so much better that the human eye won't even notice it. So that's what I was kind of getting at with you. I know
they're getting to 8K now. I keep on seeing fucking advertisements for it, but
this is like Micah's lane right here.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, everyone's like, "Yo, Micah, science with eyeballs and resolution." I have no idea. Like I don't know. I'm like, here you guys go. The eyeball can only see 6.2K. No, I don't know.
Is that true?
Shitty camera.
No, I think that like. I'm gonna sound stupid. I thought 8K was like the farthest that we can push it between like not noticing anything.
I think that's what they were saying, and like they can still do it, but it's so incremental that you wouldn't ever notice. And that's what I was getting at, because you sounded kind of offended that I was saying your audio was fucking shitty, which I'm not. It's great when I said it could be. Like, is it worth it getting better?
It's not about resolution at this point. It's about bitrate, isn't it, Micah?
What do you mean? Well, no, it's codecs. Codecs are what's holding everything back. Like, what I see on my computer is actually 20 times crisper and clearer than what you guys see on YouTube.
That makes sense. Just
YouTube compresses the living shit out of what we do. Like when I edit a really nice talking portion of Mike and like the shadows roll off nicely and everything's clean, then you go to YouTube and you see banding, you see like the blacks turn to grays, turn to light grays, turns to blues, and it's like, why is that not a smooth transition? It's just not there yet.
The 4K on YouTube is better, where it has a pretty good.
It is. It's much better. It's much better, but very few people actually switch to
4K.
4K.
Yeah, I know. It's rough too. It sucks. You want people to see. Same thing with audio, right? I want people to listen like on headphones or like a home theater system, because we do put a lot of love into the audio. But the fact of the matter is, and most people are going to watch on an iPhone, and you know, they're going to watch on an iPhone just with iPhone audio. And that's what's difficult, I think, is making it sound and look good on everything. Because what can sound and look good on like a beautiful, you know, reference speakers and reference headphones might not sound very good, and you might lose detail that is necessary when they go down to an iPhone. That's what's so weird about doing all this stuff, is like the wide breadth of devices that this could be watched and listened on.
Which is why actually every video we do, I export like a little sample and watch it on my iPhone. And I'll hold my iPhone up to my monitor and I'm like, okay, my monitor is 100% color accurate. Like literally 100% color accurate. I have calibrated this monitor to be basically a reference monitor. But then I'll have to go, okay, how much of our viewership is watching this on an iPhone? Probably 85 to 90% of it. And so then I'll export it and I'm like, dude, I don't like the way that looks on my iPhone. And then I'll make tweaks.
Yeah.
That's clever, actually. I never really thought of that, and I don't think a lot of people listening to this would have.
We're giving away all of our secrets right now, which is okay.
As long as we can make the gun industry look good.
Mm-hmm.
No, make them look bad. Only make yourselves look good. Fuck everybody else. So you guys do one episode. You guys do one video a week.
Yeah.
Conveniently, a couple hours right before the Art and War podcast gets released every Sunday. But you do one video a week.
Yeah.
And is it kind of like you ever watch that South Park, like South Park in a week, and they make like each episode a week? So like walk me through that process. Do you guys like have a filming like day usually, or is it just like a fucking, hey, we're gonna film this day, and then if we edit this day we do, or is there like a set schedule? How's that go?
We're both organized and unorganized. I'd like to think we're more organized than most.
I feel that.
Mike, you agree?
I think we're chaos, man.
We're chaos. Yeah, I don't know. So it's sometimes it's like, bro, this idea, and we're out that day.
Yeah.
But sometimes it's okay. This weekend, you have 7 days to think about it. Let's brainstorm. We're never doing like filming and uploading a day before, filming or uploading 3 days before. That's like pretty unheard of for us. Not to say we haven't done it, but
I would say our quickest turnaround is about maybe a week to 2 weeks on a video.
That's quite good.
So yeah, I mean, that's good for what we're putting out. You know, but yeah, so I mean, like general schedule is typically we'll start brainstorming the day that the video is released. So we'll high five, hey, good video, or hey, this video is absolute shit and we're gonna cry. And either we'll film that day or we'll film the next day. So whether Saturday or Sunday or something like that. And then Michael will get the footage, take a look through it. We'll get any additional things filmed that we need to, any tweaks, and we'll kind of go through it. And hopefully it's up in about a week and uploaded. I'd say about a week total. Would you say, Micah, for editing?
Yeah. If we wanted to work more than we already do, which is quite a bit, we could probably do 2.
Yeah. We
I don't know. I don't know if we could push over 2 though.
Not with our quality.
To maintain the quality, audio, all that we're at, 2 would be absolute limit. Like,
yeah,
maybe pushing the limit. It would be possible, but it wouldn't be fun.
Well, so there's more to it than just filming, right? So a lot of people are like, well, how hard is it to go with a fucking gun and film? It's like, well, on my end, you know, so we all have our prepping things that we're doing, and like for like a simple review, we're talking weeks to maybe a month of research, you know, because I'm very careful about the information.
Oh, dude, that's what blows my mind. Our wives often joke like, Micah does all the work. No, it's not true. The amount of research that Mike puts into each review actually blows my mind.
Oh, thanks, man.
Whenever I see his notes, I am actually astonished. Like I'm always like, oh, dude, you're just knowledgeable. You know this stuff. No, like, but he is very knowledgeable. But like, every gun has history. Every gun has quirks. This man puts in more work than, I'm gonna offend people, any reviewer on the platform.
Hold up.
Get fucked, everyone.
Get fucked,
everyone.
I'm
sucks.
sorry, but like I'm biased,
sucks.
so everyone can take that with a grain of sea salt and vinegar.
The biggest thing for me is that any gun that we review, most of it's military, firearms. So I have a wonderful network of active duty guys all throughout the SOCOM and conventional community. And like I would say on average, at minimum, I talk to 3 guys regarding a platform that they're
minimum. The amount of names he throws out to me the day of filming, I'm like, dude, no, I don't know who that is. Like, why would I know who that is? He's like, bro, but he's the HK god. And I'm like, Mike, why would I know the HK god?
James Williamson, man. James Williamson. He is the HK god. Everyone knows that this man is probably James Williamson. I can't even pronounce the name of his company. Like, he's gonna get mad at me. It's some German name like Telschevland something tactical, but he is like probably one of the premier HK experts in the world. He actually just collaborated with Larry Vickers, on his newest book for HK stuff. Like, he's a master, man. He's a master of HK. So like any HK weapon that I do, he's like the first guy I call, and he knows these weapons and their histories like no other person in the world.
He's not just knowledgeable; he's passionate.
Yeah, and so like I get a lot of great information, and he's very gracious to be able to take his time with me. But I would say I'm lucky that I get that a lot of people take time to speak with me on these issues. And
which, by the way,
go ahead.
Mike,
yeah,
I said it. He's passionate. I think that's what sets our quality apart from other people's quality. We're not just here to make YouTube videos that get a lot of views. We love making YouTube videos that get a lot of views.
Yeah, we do.
We are extremely passionate about video making, sound design, and guns. All 3 are passions of ours. Like, that's where I think our quality comes from, that sets us apart from other YouTubers. We would not settle for something that looks worse than we're currently putting out. We settle for something that is better than last week's and better than last week's. Like, it is a passion of both of ours.
Absolutely. I mean, we're just here to turn a younger community into guns, man.
Yeah.
And like, and that's what drives everything.
That is a very good mission statement to have.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's fun. It's probably the funnest mission statement because we just
100%. Yeah,
making content like that is fun. Like, I think the most difficult content is content that like forgotten weapons or somebody where you're dealing with really hard facts. Like, that's tough because history is kind of a nebulous thing sometimes, depending on what book you're reading. So like, I can only imagine the hell that Ian goes through, talking about some obscure French pistol, and then somebody's like, well, actually in my book it says that in 1878 in March the guy made this verse, whatever Ian said. So like, I find our content like it's fun to do what we do. I can imagine doing like historical content.
Oh man, same. I want to just pick Ian's brain. It's we've been thinking of getting him on, but I just want to get a beer with the guy.
He's a great guy. He's a really nice guy.
Yeah.
Did you ever email him, Nathan?
Was I supposed to do that?
Nathan, I sent you his email, and you said, "Yeah, I'll email him." We've been over this twice.
I can introduce you guys too. Actually, when I was at SHOT Show, I actually saw him in the gym. He's getting swole, dude. He's getting ready for Finished Brutality. Yeah.
That's awesome. Swole gun Jesus, bro.
I know, dude. And we're talked to him and his wife. His wife's very sweet, and he's a really nice guy. It was really good to talk.
That's really awesome. Yeah.
So when it comes to kind of it being a passion project, that's something that I think both Nathan and I really relate to, because we for so long were bleeding money with it, and we didn't give a shit, And I think that is where like you said, that's kind of what sets your quality apart. And we're trying to do something very similar, where we're just having fun, but kind of also trying to be a hub of information. And when you do your research for the gun before, or whatever it is you're reviewing before it even goes live, I think of the process that I have to maybe writing a guide or collecting information, because the idea, what you do, you make information more digestible in an entertaining way. And that's something that we strive to do as well. And whenever we get information, like let's say we don't write a guide, let's say it's a guide from Wolf Den, for example, like the long range guide that we recently did. What I have to do when I get that now, I have to go through it. I have to check it myself with my knowledge. I have to cross-reference it with other folks. And then I have to try and make it digestible. And that's where Nathan comes in and makes it so much fucking easier for me. And I think that's kind of how Micah can do it too with his video. He makes the video entertaining. Obviously, you're the one on the video. You're saying the shit. You're doing the cool stuff. But the video and the visual aspect to it adds a whole nother level to the entertainment value and the information value.
Well, so you brought up two really good points, man. One, people are of course going to be drawn to you because you like what you're doing. People know, man.
Yeah.
If you're just going for money, man, they are going to know. And they're going to see right through that. People are smart, man.
Yeah.
So if they see that you guys are having fun, they're going to have fun too, because there's nothing better than watching two people just enjoy doing a job.
When we hit the stop record button and we're shooting ballistic dummies and blowing up pumpkins with tannerite and just stuff like that, when the record button stops, what actually happens behind the camera is, can you believe that, bro? Like, there's so much fun to be had behind the camera. It's not a job. We often are driving to the range and we're joking, right? We're like, can you believe that we're going to work right now?
I love that. I love that so much.
Yeah.
And I think
it's wholesome.
I think you bring up another good point too, which is the digestibility of information, right? Just it's difficult, man, because on the one hand, you want to make it entertaining, you need to make it palatable, but on the other hand, you still need to be informational, and by nature, people just don't want to be forced to learn things, you know?
Yeah.
No, you have to make it fun, and that's
you have to make it.
The hard part is you have a core audience, and our core audience started from like how to set up your JPC. That's a very specific topic to how does 9mm perform, carry rounds in the human torso. They're different. One is like, oh, I'm not a gun guy, but I've seen like news headlines about guns and this and that. How does 9mm perform? It's a very wide spectrum. You have to cater to the general audience, just you got to get new people. You got to get new people in to watch what you want to watch. But you also have to cater to your core audience. The people who are like, I don't care how 9mm performs in the human torso.
Yeah.
I need to know how to set up my battle belt. I need to know how to set up my helmet. That's such a different audience than which AR-15 round is good. You know what I mean? Like, you have to cater to so many different audiences to grow or to get new people in the industry.
I agree. And you kind of have to steer your content. And that's something that I want to ask you guys about after this piss break. Sorry.
Yeah, you're good. Are we taking a piss break?
Hey, this is Mitchell with Seaburn Art. Did you know that we have a Patreon? We do have a Patreon, and there's a ton of cool things there. Super cool things, and Nathan's going to tell you about them.
Hey guys, Nathan here from the Art and War podcast, here to tell you about Patreon. There's a 24-hour Korean massage parlor several blocks from my house, and I go there for happy endings. It gets pretty expensive, and I need you to donate me money so I can continue to serve my dark addiction.
Not only can you help Nathan get hand jobs from Koreans, You can also help us continue to improve the quality of content that we do. You get merch now after a couple months of being a Patreon subscriber, which is cool. We also have stickers, and we also have high-res downloadable targets that you can download, send to Staples, and get weird looks when you print them out to bring them to your range and shoot. Also, all of our guides are downloadable, high-res, so if you want to print them out and make a cool little book, yeah, you can go for that too.
You can find our Patreon via the link in this episode's description or in the CBNR page's bio on Instagram. Now let's get back to the show.
So one thing that I find that we need to work on is not saying so before we start every single point. If you could take that out.
Super bad for that. BR, just take out every time we say the word so, even if it makes sense.
It's funny because Mike starts every new topic with so, and I take every so out.
I'm a piece of shit, man.
So the next topic I just started with.
You just fucking
the next topic.
When it comes to kind of catering to your audience, do you two kind of think about the content you're putting out and the conversations it's going to start? Because we found with ourselves, we kind of take a little bit of a strategy with it. We'll see what everybody else is kind of talking about, and then we'll be like, let's steer away from that because the focus is way too much now on like CQB and all this cool shit, and it's completely taken away from that, like something else that might be more valuable. Do you guys think about, like when you put out the mud test that people are going to be fucking...
So the videos that do well, we don't think will do well. Honestly, we're just doing every time. We just do whatever we think is fun because... people, I think personally, me and Mike have talked about this, is I think that the minute you start like catering to your audience and doing just fan service, they come to your content. They want to see what you have to say, not what the mob has to say. Right? And a lot of content creators get that wrong, and they have a Patreon where they say, "Hey, what should I do next?" And they're like, "Oh, review this and make sure you say this or do this," and they do that, and that's cool because. Obviously those people will be happy, but they came for your ideas, not for anybody else's. So do your stuff and just have fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, we like lately, like we're pushing out a lot of medical shit. Because I saw. Well, for start, we pissed off a fucking Navy SEAL organization that said civilians don't need to know how to.
Was he an organization or was he just one dude?
Oh God!
He got really mad. He's like, just call 911 if you ever come across something.
Okay.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Anyways,
yeah, cool. I'll call the cops too.
Helpful.
Yeah, call the cops. Someone's in my house. I'll just call the cops.
But like, for example, that's like our big thing. Also, because we have like 30 fucking medical guides written, ready to be illustrated.
42.
42 of them.
Yeah. You just release them.
Yeah.
Essentially, yeah. That's what we're doing.
I'll be the first to admit I got really fucking poopy when that guy went off. Especially when he was just like, no, just call the cops. Call the cops. There's no situation a civilian shouldn't just call the cops. Fuck off. Sorry, I'm getting poopy again. Go on.
Agreed.
Yeah, I agree. Sorry, Navy SEALs. So, like, we're putting out, like, medical guides, and I was thinking about that. I'm like, man, should we, like, break that up with something? And then I have, like, like a simple how to break contact, Yeah,
you've been crushing it lately with the guides. Just
yeah. So I was thinking, like, man, should I because I know this is just going to start people getting really fucking autistic with medical shit. Like, do I need to break that up? And I was curious if you guys have like a similar thought process, or is it nah, fuck it, let it fly?
Yeah, we just kind of do what's fun. Like what?
Yeah, we let it fly.
Yeah,
we're kind of not held back by much, honestly. We have our own personal convictions, and we send it.
Full send. No solidarity with leftists.
Maybe that's something that we should do then. Well, it's more me. It's more me
thinking about it. It's not really like I hate to say I can be a little bit of a piss baby if people get poopy.
Honestly, man, don't let people change what you're going to post.
100%. Don't let people change what you're going to post.
It's just
right,
it's annoying because like we always go to subject matter experts when we write guides, or at the very least we stay in our respective lanes. Like Mitch will do the tactic stuff, I'll do the weapons manipulation stuff. We'll get people who do medical to do the medical. We'll get like Orion Training Group does our CQB because he's really fucking good at it.
We love that guy.
Yeah, Jared's fucking awesome.
That was one of the best courses I've ever been to.
Dude, that's awesome.
How was it, by the way, Micah?
Incredible.
Did he wear shorts?
Like, Did he wear shorts?
Yeah. Do you wear?
No, he wore jeans.
Oh,
That's
but
unfortunate.
he has some fucking nice legs.
He is nice
I mean, I could tell he was pretty yoked, man.
Yeah.
But I can tell you this: I've been to a lot of classes, and walking away from that one had me thinking so much more than other classes.
Yeah, and I are hoping to go to one of his classes at some point, and we've already talked about it. I think it's going to happen.
Also,
Yeah,
solo CQB sucks. You're going to die.
Yes. Oh,
Yes.
100%.
I've been saying that's what I've been saying. Why you go to the mountains? It's recce time, baby.
Yeah, let's go.
Go live in the woods indefinitely.
So,
which everyone should be able to do.
What about the RECCE memes when that came out?
Okay. Yeah, I'll be honest about all of it. It pissed me off.
Yeah.
Right. Because for
this
me,
is new.
Yeah. So for me, that stuff is like a passion project, right?
Yeah.
Like that's what I spent all my time doing in the military, and so it was really annoying when I tried to introduce what I thought was really interesting and new subject matter, and then it was just memed on.
I actually agreed, man. The notes and the amount of time to film just one informational video on this video was so much more than average. And the most common takeaway was like 14.5 rifle LPVO.
Dude,
and it's like, what the fuck?
That was so frustrating to me. And here's the thing, and I actually was going to talk about it earlier. So I look at it several ways now, because I'm completely over it now, and that was all on me and my like shortcomings, I think, as like being frustrated at the situation. But I look at it a couple different ways now. New stuff, kind of new things are going to go over kind of weird. People are just going to meme them. That's how people do it. You know what I mean? Like that's just what they do now. Like think when Lucas came out with his new holster that had the hinge in the center, everyone's like, "LOL, oh my god, that's so stupid." But now everyone's like, "Oh, this is really cool actually. Like I like it." I think it's the same thing with anything. So I look at it now as just endearing and just helping push that series further. And then when it came to the rifle and how everyone kind of took away from everything that I talked about, and they're like 14.5 with an LPVO, is maybe that was on me, right? So I've taken that constructively as perhaps I didn't convey the material well enough, and that it made me reevaluate the way I presented that information. So for me, it was just a learning experience. Perhaps I didn't get across the message that I needed to, and that's okay. No one's going to be perfect at any time. So in our further material that we have, we're going to be kind of vectoring it just slightly better, in my opinion, because of those lessons learned. But it made me take a pause and kind of reevaluate how I was doing the entire series to make sure I did it in such a way that it wasn't going to become, not that it wouldn't become meme material, but that it would be meaningful material. And so, yeah, I mean, that's kind of how it went about. But certainly at first, I thought that it was mocking me, and I realize now that wasn't the case. Maybe, who knows? But I think it was more that people just like to have fun with a new subject, and it's fun material for everyone, and that's just the culture nowadays.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people took it, and while it might have seemed like it was devaluing what you were actually putting out. It's shitty to say, but I tried to watch it after, because I watched it after I saw all the memes. I didn't watch it as soon as it came out. All the memes kind of came out about it.
And then
well, it did a little bit, but it made me watch it and completely ignore the rifle for the most part, if that makes sense. It was more like what you were talking about. It was the equipment, and I'm like, yeah, I understand like a fucking recce rifle. Like it that's not recce, or a rifle isn't recce. It's a part of it, sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And also there's a further thing to it as well. And that comes down to things that I can and can't say on YouTube. And that's the kind of unfortunate nature of what we do. I guess the way I look at it is, perhaps it was on me, right? And the way I presented the information. So it made me re-look at how I was presenting the stuff, because what can be difficult is precisely conveying that your meaning over YouTube, because YouTube is not a free to talk environment, if that makes sense. So at times, you can't quite get at the exact message. I think with the RECCE series, it was probably on me on how I conveyed the information. That comes down to like what you can and you can't say on YouTube. Nice easy words like recce and reconnoitering are better than saying fighting an enemy in the mountains. And so I think that's what it really comes down to with that series. So it just gave me a good opportunity to reassess how I was presenting the information, and me and Mike have come up with better ways of wording it to accurately convey the information that we're trying to put out there. Information that I think is important, right? Like how many people talk about surviving in the woods? Like that's some cool stuff, or just having those skills. And again, like Micah said before, if you do CQB, like that's dangerous. Go out into the mountains, way better.
Yeah, and it's the people don't realize what goes on behind the camera. Imagine, which Mike has some very big ambitions for this RECCE series, and I mean very big. I've actually told him no, I refuse to do that, and he's somehow convinced me to go.
It's gonna get...
Yep, he's somehow convinced me to go, but we are gonna be filming stuff in deep into the mountains, Arctic Circle, etc. And I'm like, all right, if not one comment responds with, yo, how did you lug all that camera gear that deep into the Arctic Circle, then I'm honestly going to quit.
Is it just going to be you two?
Yeah, man. All free for everybody.
Yes. Or potentially.
We'll see. Maybe at some point we'll make some really, like, amazing content, even like 10 times better than YouTube. Maybe we'll make people pay for it. But I really like the idea of just putting out information for free. I like that.
Yeah.
But
awesome.
I mean, 100% we're getting into material where we're like videos are costing quite a bit, which is fine. We're lucky that we do fine with sponsorships and stuff, but it's always on the table. But we're going to be visiting every biome and doing a video in every biome. That was one thing that was really cool.
Dude, that's amazing.
That was one thing that was really cool for me as a survival guy when I was getting trained up in the Air Force, is I got to survive in every biome, and I want to bring that to people. Be like, hey, like, how does survival change from the desert to the temperate environment, to the mountains, to the Arctic Circle, to the tropics? Fuck the tropics, first off.
Also, yeah, fuck the tropics.
Fuck the tropics. But no, it's so cool that I just want to bring like that passion I have for that, because, man, there's nothing cooler than getting dropped off in an environment somewhere and someone just being like, hey, you like survive. Like somebody just drops you in the middle of the jungle and they're like, hey, go, like, don't die. You're like, well, what do I do? A lot of people don't know. So to me, it's cool to be able to be like, hey guys, I did this. I've done this actively, and I've taught people how to do this, and I can teach you how to survive indefinitely in these environments. And also, we'll talk a little bit about also weapon maintenance. We'll talk about fighting these environments a little bit. Like, it's cool, really interesting information, I think.
Yeah.
Well, and it's also an incredibly valuable training asset to, the folks that, might be doing some stuff, in the military or just outside of it, just in general. I was doing a health and wellness inspection in the barracks 2 weeks ago, and I saw a private had printed out some of our guides and like put them on the little cork boards in the barracks. What? And I thought I'm like, that's really fucking cool. Like I kind of smiled to myself a little bit.
Because like you've doxed yourself now. You like your voice is
some do, but they don't know me like they know, Mike. But the problem is Mike is in a lot cooler place with a lot cooler people.
I'm not
probably
they're
really
way cooler the people than me, man. That's what I've been trying.
Mike
to
is actually one of the
Fuck
lamest
you,
people
Mike.
I know.
Well, I'm saying the people he's surrounded with, not him. The people surrounded with.
Take it.
Like,
I work with incredible people.
Hey, Mike, you know what's good? I told you the RECCE series was gonna suck. And I'm glad that you were like, Micah, go fuck yourself.
Yeah, you don't know shit,
and it became
Micah.
like an internet sensation.
You ever been fired, bro?
I don't know shit. Look, listen, I know how to color grade. No, but if you're going to do it, then go ahead and do it right now, bro.
Micah threatens to quit at least 5 times a day.
Back to the training aid thing. Do you think that people, has anybody ever came to you and been like, hey, like this kind of like helped me with this fucking fuckface soldier that didn't know how to do something?
Yeah,
with
actually,
a weapon?
Very early on, I think when I kind of realized there's a little bit of magic in what we do, anybody who's putting out like information and stuff. I put out like a video on a long range survival pack way back when. And some guy messaged me like a month later. He's like, hey, dude, like I legit got lost in the desert and would have died had I not had the things you told me to have on me. Like just basic things that we tell people to pack for like the SEER courses. And he's like, yeah, and I survived. I was able to get picked up and rescued. I was out there for like a week and I would have like straight up died otherwise. He's like, so thank you. And I was like, damn, that's awesome. Like, am I doing good in the world? Am I good now? It was just cool.
Yeah, it feels good to get those.
Yeah, and like you get those, and it's nice, and it's cool, man. You want to be able to put out information that is valuable to people, that is worth their while, and so when I get these messages, it makes me feel like my information that I'm putting out is valuable and is worth their while. So I feel good about that.
Not to like overuse the shitty fucking gun control people phrase, but like if it saves just one life, and it's a good feeling.
Yeah, I agree, man. I mean, not with the gun control people,
not with the fucking gun control people, but like, all gun control, eat dicks.
Micah, do you ever? Because Mike does the reviews on the guns and he does the research to that. Do you ever have like a say in that, or do you ever do any of that stuff yourself?
About
that's actually a really good one, Mike. Mike and I had probably some of the most back and forth talks about the Steyr AUG, where Mike was like, "This combat rifle is best." And I'm like, okay, but what about this and this and that? It got pretty heated where we went back and forth. I'm like, bro, but this does this better and that does that better. Most of these talks happen on our drive home from the range. Like we're done putting like 4,000 or 5,000 rounds through a gun, right? Like, not in a single day, but like after the course of a week, we're done putting the gun through its paces, and he's got an opinion formed. And when Mike hired me, he told me, like, I didn't hire you because you were a yes man. What was some specifics we talked about, Mike, with that gun?
About the trigger, how I thought it didn't matter. And then you told me I was a bitch.
You thought it didn't matter, and yeah. The AUG really was the prime example of like you had an opinion formed, and I made you revisit your opinion.
Nervous to come on the podcast? You said you've never done a podcast before.
Yes.
No, he wasn't.
No, I was. I was borderline shaking.
You work with,
I'm just kidding. I mean, I was pretty nervous. I wasn't
like
shaking.
A jackass.
It wasn't borderline shaking.
Lost at Age of Empires 2 with us, dude. He just fucking let the hunts took him.
Mike, how long did it take for me and you? When I first met Mike, I didn't talk. I was quiet. I just let him talk and talk and talk and talk and talk. And hey, Micah. Like, I take a long time to warm up to people and start talking.
It's true.
And you've never been on a podcast before? Because we were talking about inviting you like a week before, and then Mike randomly was like, "Hey, podcast with Micah," and I'm like,
"I've never been on a podcast, ever."
You're infinitely more interesting than your counterpart.
What the fuck?
Probably not. But
what were we talking about before this cut?
I think we were talking about our sponsor. It's time for our ad read. Raid Shadow Legends is an immersive online experience.
Hey, they pay so much. Real talk.
Wait, is that actually your sponsor or no?
No, they actually No, Jesus Christ!
Dude, they pay so much money.
I was gonna say they pay a lot. If they do offer you something, just take it.
Well, I would expect so much from a game with amazing storylines, awesome 3D graphics, giant boss fights, PvP battles, and hundreds of never.
Don't forget to use discount code Garand Thumb for.
Oh god!
We got a couple messages.
I see Mitch being like, "What the fuck is Raid Shadow Legends?"
No, I know what Raid Shadow
Mitch, I've been
Legends
accepting sponsors behind your back. Fuck you.
I mean, as long as I get some money to. When we
was fuck you at the end.
When you guys took that, we got DMs about it. They're like, "Oh, he's selling out," and I'm like, "He's probably getting the fucking bag, and he's going to put it towards making quality better."
It's like you want to keep fucking doing this game. Like you need to fucking get paid.
Somebody was like getting mad at me about it. They're like, "Way to sell out, bro." I'm like, "Well, enjoy your free content, man."
Yeah, 100%. I wish I could sit at home on my ass and like write CQB guides and get paid for it all day, but I can't. So sponsors and everything else.
Hey, man, once that guy pays me, 100%, I won't take those sponsorships. But until he pays me, he's gonna enjoy his free content. People get really mad about free content.
Like it, fucking scroll through it. Like, just fast forward. There's literally a button for you to do that.
Yeah, fuck it, man. We're gonna start releasing Magpul DVDs. I can pay for them.
I think my favorite thing is watching people get angry on the internet.
Dude, over
people
nothing.
Get so
especially,
mad for
I think my favorite thing of all time is knowing what went into the video, people raging about something that didn't go into the video or a lie they created themselves, and being like, huh, okay. Okay. I don't know how you drew that conclusion or how you thought that was a thing, but we're just two dudes making videos on the internet.
Yeah. Like, everyone can chill out.
Yeah.
Do people ever reach out to you, Micah, to like bitch about whatever the
Oh
fuck's
my
going on in
gosh.
the video?
What sucks is like people know I'm Mike's videographer, and half of the messages I get on Instagram are just using me to get to Mike. Like, hey, I know Mike's inbox is way overwhelmed, so I'm reaching out to you so you can convey this message to Michael. And here's my product. And I'm like, okay, thank you.
Do you ever send it to him?
You know, if it's honestly, oh man. If it's compelling enough, yes, but no. Most of the time, no. The best one I ever got was I have a revolutionary placard. Like literally, it will change the game as far as placards go. And I was like, "Oh, that's spicy."
Is it new?
Okay, yeah, it was completely new, like legit game changing new, right? And
no,
I go, send me some photos. This is intriguing.
Yeah. Is it out yet?
No. Let me get there.
Sorry, I'm just so curious. The gear queer in me is like, what the fuck?
No, yeah, no. This is a revolutionary product. Okay, so I'm like, okay, you have my interest. Please send me some pictures of it. Like, blah 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 blah. He goes, great. So at this point, this is all I've got. I get a picture of a pencil drawing on a napkin, and I'm like,
How
wow,
incredible.
this is incredible. This is going to change the game. He goes, that's what I'm saying. You don't understand. It's going to and I'm like, dude, the drawings were so crude and so bad, but it was so funny and so, like, the guy meant it. He was not kidding. And yeah, I get a lot of those.
Was it a good design?
Dude, it was like chicken scratch on a napkin. Like I couldn't. It was like 3 mags that plugged into a placard Swift clip design, and I'm like, whoa!
All right.
like easy there, Spirit of Systems.
Whoa, yeah.
I remember I got one. Somebody sent me a mag pouch design. They're like, "Hey, it's going to change the world," and I was like, "Okay, hit me." And so it was there's nothing on the side. It was just 2 pieces of Velcro, so that when you opened it up, the mag just fell out. He's like, "Yeah, that way it's easier to get to." And I was like,
fucking game.
Change the fucking game, baby.
I was like, well, like how? Never mind. Like, incredible though, incredible, man. But I mean, you got to try new stuff. But I don't know. I don't know if we're the people to talk to about that.
You gotta respect the effort.
I respect it. I respect the hustle.
I would respect the effort more if it wasn't a drawing on a napkin.
The drawing on the napkin was incredible to me. I honestly, like, I was more impressed with the fact that he didn't have a design than the fact he did. Like, the way he talked it up, the fact I received a drawing on a napkin, I was like, yo, this couldn't have gone any better.
Do you find it almost not necessarily insulting, but you're kind of like, dude, why the fuck do you think I'm going to do this for you? Like,
yeah, I get that a lot.
I get it, right? They're shooting their shots.
They are shooting their shots.
Respect the hustle.
Yeah, I mean, they're going to use any means necessary to get in contact with somebody they want to get in contact with, right?
Yeah.
It's not against me. Yeah, no. I honestly, I respect it. I don't hate it.
Yeah, I remember like when I was first starting out on YouTube, like any bite I could get was like a good day,
Mm-hmm.
So like I get it. You got to start somewhere, man. So like no harm in that. But maybe if you're gonna talk to somebody big, have something better than a drawing on a napkin.
Mm-hmm.
Like take some time, put some effort into it, have a little write up. I get those all the time. Like I'll get like a good like CAD design drawing of it, and they'll have like a description with it, like, hey, this is a product I'm looking at, can you put me in contact with somebody who could possibly help me? I'm like, yes, cool, yeah, sure, why not? Let them take the reins from there. that makes sense. And now I'm going to get like 1,000 of those. But if you're going to shoot your shot, be ready, more ready than to draw it on a napkin hurriedly as somebody says, "Okay, let me hear your idea."
You know what's funny is that guy is probably going to end up creating that product, buying Cry Precision, and then buying our YouTube channel.
buys our YouTube channel.
He's like, see, motherfuckers, I told you it was going to change the game.
Dissolves your retirement fund and then fires you. It's like, we're even now, bitch.
Well, did you reply? Like, what did you say? Or did you just stop?
After I got the drawing on the napkin, as soon as I saw that it was legitimately just pencil on a napkin, I stopped entertaining it. I could have said something snarky or funny, but
no. Don't tread in his dreams. He's already retarded. So,
like I said, he's probably going to buy us out and fire me. So,
speaking of dreams, can we talk about like the coolest people that we have met so far at SHOT Show?
Yeah, us. Sorry, continue.
You guys weren't even there.
Yeah, I got COVID, and Mitch is just a bitch. So,
damn, dude, Varys Silica.
Oh
dude,
my gosh,
those guys were so cool.
Tell us everything,
dude. They are. First off, I don't want to like give away their personal information or anything, but they're knowledgeable guys. They know their stuff, and they're just cool, like the nicest, most thoughtful people you could ever meet.
I am but a mere cameraman. Like, very few people know who's behind the camera of Garand Thumb, right? These guys brought custom-made gifts to dinner with them. For me, for Mike, the wives, like everyone. It was like the most thoughtful, sincere thing I've ever experienced in this industry thus far.
Sweet.
You said Jericho Silva?
You what?
You said Jericho Silva?
No, he's cool, but no, Varys Silica.
Oh, I'm sorry, I'm retarded.
No, you're good.
Yeah,
they're just. They're a cool company too. Like, they come out, they have cool products and stuff, and I don't know, I like them. I'm not getting paid by them or anything. I just like them.
Yeah. No, they make cool stuff. I don't know anything about them, but they seem.
Do you find it weird that whenever you talk about a company, like sometimes you're almost compelled to be like, they don't pay me?
Yeah,
no, it's bad. It's bad. I am like, dude, you're mentioning them. Don't mention them, because like it's so, people are so quick to shit on you for mentioning any brand.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's weird because obviously in what we do, like things that kind of push our profession or push us in the civilian world and our capabilities are products. So unfortunately, if you're gonna speak in the gun world, it happens to be companies, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And so people get I mean, I've never heard the word shill as much as I've heard in the gun industry.
Oh my god! Yeah.
And, I think people have forgotten what the word means versus what they're going for. I don't know. It's weird. And then, I mean, we've talked about it before. Some people do get paid nefariously and don't disclose it and stuff. But I really don't think that's the majority of the industry at all.
Yeah.
I think most people are pretty straightforward because, like you guys know, like everyone changes companies so often. Like, you'll know, like, oh, Jim works at Cry Precision. Oh, now Jim works at Magpul. Oh, now Jim works at Knights Armament. And like, if you were to take money from somebody, somehow somebody's going to find out, and then it's over at that point for you. So I think most people are pretty honest.
I think the few fucking turds in the punch bowl ruin it, and people focus more on them. Like, even when we talk about, like our sponsors, they're kind of like, oh, well, this product isn't as good as this product. And I'm like, sure, bro. Like, it's subjective, I guess. Like, I'm not just saying it's good because they're fucking paying me.
Cool. Enjoy your free content.
Yeah. Like,
that's the big thing. People don't realize how much fucking work it goes into making stuff. Anything.
Yeah.
Video, I mean, like sound design, videos, drawing. Sorry, go on. I get fired up, okay?
Nathan,
you named like 3 things, and I'm like, keep going, keep going, because
Nathan.
There's way more than that.
Yeah.
Literally every part of free content creation. That's the problem. I know, and our editor hates this. I will go on like super autistic 10-minute rants, and I'm trying to top myself off. I see Mitch grinning because he knows it's true.
I'm here for it.
You're here for it. We're not going to talk about the Vegas shooter again. We've already gone down that hole.
Dude, I wish everybody could see Nathan right now because he's very red faced. He has literally in his hand vodka in his hand as he rants autistically.
Vodka and a thing of pancakes, which I have.
Oh yeah, the thing of pancakes.
Incredible.
We
love you,
were
Nathan.
talking with Paigeosity about Chacho. And
I love her.
Yeah,
she's awesome.
She's great. I want to talk to you guys.
Oh, I fucking love Paige. We all love Paige. Everyone loves Paige. I really regret not seeing her at Seattle and also sleeping through our call the other day. I feel like an asshole.
She's cool.
If you don't know who Paige is, she draws smut.
She draws a lot of smut. She also drew us. Not smutty. Maybe Paige, if you're listening to this, draw smut. Don't draw smutty. Actually, no, I take that back.
Actually, draw them smutty. I want to see. I want to see both these guys with anime titties.
Oh my god, no. I'm so ready. Yes, Paige,
yes, please, and maybe like a unicorn horn or something.
Is this payback for you and for you and the anime with the you and Brandon Herrera that Nathan made?
This is payback for that. Yes.
Oh no.
That was sent to me. I saw that 1 minute before it posted, and I was like, "Is there any way that this cannot get posted?"
I have never taken a commission like that. I turn a lot down until they were like, "Well, it was Armed Asian." He just goes like, "Yeah, no, it's going to be Garand Thumb. It's going to be Brandon Herrera," and I laughed so fucking hard. And I'm like, "Yes, I'll do this for free. I don't give a shit."
This is why I'm trying to lure you here to make you pay for that.
Paige,
I deserve this.
It was incredible. It was absolutely
incredible. No, it was. I got paid to do a commission of you and Brandon Herrera making out. Everyone, it's an armed_Asians page. Go see it.
Oh my god!
I'm not sponsored by any way in this. I just want you guys to see.
He's an armed Asian shill.
I'm an armed Asian shill. I'm not.
Paige was saying, because we had a phone call with her, and by we it was me because Nathan fell asleep during the phone call that we had with her
because he's drunk.
Does it have something to do with Popov's vodka and? Yeah,
it's Ivanov. It was on sale for 20. Oh god, guys, alcohol's so fucking expensive here, and it's all the government's fucking fault. We don't get our own liquor stores. You know, in Idaho, I could reach out with one hand and grab coffee, and the other hand I could reach out and grab a box of fucking White Claws. It's not like that here.
You're also talking to Mike Jones, and Mike Jones drinks like 3 times a year.
Yes.
Yeah, you're right.
But still,
this man is a legend.
It is. I want to see Mike drunk. Like it
doesn't happen. It doesn't happen. You'll never see it. Yeah,
you won't see it, man.
I still want to see it.
Peer pressure.
It's never going to happen. I'm never going to ask for it.
As Mitch sits here quietly, as Nathan goes on a rant for like 10 minutes.
Hey, it makes the podcast better. You know, it happens all the time. I said it was going to happen in the beginning when he started drinking. I'm like, hey, there's going to be a point. Micah, you got to be ready for it. Mike's
it's an hour later. It hit right about now, dude. You're right.
Yeah, he's in.
All in, baby.
Hey, you said it was an hour. It's been an hour and a half.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Yes. So
when you guys were at Chacho, Paige was telling us that she had zero envy for you guys because it was for you to get somewhere, you had to go through everybody wanting to come up and talk to you.
Oh my god, Mike is gonna be annoyed, but I'm more annoyed than Mike.
I'm not annoyed by it, to be clear.
Oh my gosh, I just wanted to get from one booth to the next, and I was the second person. Like nobody cared about me. Everyone cared about Mike. I'm like, I'm just trying to get from this booth to this booth. But then I can see why Mike's not annoyed. He loves his fans. He loves saying hi. He loves just seeing everyone, right? Then there's me who just sits on the sidelines and I'm like watching, like, nice. All right.
So I figure this though. I know it's annoying for them because they just want to walk because we have it's Micah plus our wives plus other guys with us, and so for them it's annoying. But I figure this, like, getting stopped for people to talk to me means that they like what I'm doing, and we're only able to do what we do because people like our content. So if people are are like me enough to come up to stop me and to say hi and that they like my content, like 100%, I am all about entertaining them and talking to them about it.
Which
Because
mad respect, by the way. Like, I the fact that I got annoyed and you didn't, honestly made me think about it. And I was like, okay, this is the reason we're doing it, right?
Yeah,
like these people are the reason we're doing it. I actually had no right to be annoyed. I was, but that's an afterthought, right? Like afterwards, I self-reflected. I'm like, these people are why I literally do work every week.
Yeah, I mean, that, and like I can't name the amount of people who came up to me and they're like, "Hey, like I was kind of not really into guns, kind of a little bit, but I watched like your 1911 video, so fucking cool, and then I bought a 1911, then it's FUD crap, so then I bought a Glock 17, and now I shoot all the time, and I love it, and I watch all your content, and I love guns." I'm like, cool. And pretty soon they're watching Paul Harrell and shooting meat targets. I don't know.
Wait, that's reverse. I think we all started on Paul Harrell and then morphed into Garand.
No.
Paul Harrell. Have we ever got into Paul Harrell on this podcast?
No. So we've talked to him before. It's hard to get a hold of him, but we've talked with him about doing videos together.
Dude, that'd be awesome. Holy shit, that'd be awesome.
It would be cool. I consider us a gateway drug to Paul Harrell. I do love him. But no, so anyhow, like the point being is like, I don't know, Mike, I remember when we went to that event with Kentucky and Demo at that gun store?
Yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Dude, that's when I had my first taste of people care about our channel. I had people coming up like, "Hey, where's Micah?" And I'm like, "Me?
Hey,
me? What do you mean me? I'm just Micah. What are you talking about?" Like,
it's craziness, man. It's craziness. And that really, I think that's a really good example too. And I know I've talked about it before, but I'm going to do it again because I love those guys so much. But like Demolition Ranch and Kentucky, I think sometimes really get shit on by what you consider like the hardcore 2A activists because they're not doing anything. And I'm like, it's
funny because they're actually doing the most.
They're so fucking wrong, dude.
They're doing so much more than I'm just going to say it. They're doing more than we are.
100%, dude. 100%, dude. Like 4-year-olds were walking up and 3-year-olds were walking up to Demo and being like, "Well, you love watching your channel."
It was so good to see.
And he was like,
"That was culture war, guys."
Yeah,
it shows you we're winning.
Yeah, dude. Demo and Kentucky do so much because they get really young kids to like this shit. I'm like, that's amazing. And they're like, "Why doesn't Kentucky go on a 2A rant like I do?" I'm like, because Kentucky's ballistics, 4-year-olds don't care about a rant about gun rights.
Yep.
What they do care about is entertaining, cool content that shows that guns are accessible to everyone and should be used by everyone, and they're fun. And as they get older, they'll realize
if guns are normal in the younger community, then they're normal when they're older too.
Dude, I saw this stat the other. Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead, man.
Oh, I saw the stat the other day that I can't remember who did the poll. It was published by an anti-gun news organization, and it was talking about it like it was a big thing that we all have to worry about. That was 75% of under 18s think a gun in the house will make them safer. And I looked at that stat and I just fucking got so happy.
Yeah,
hell yeah, dude. That's awesome.
If
was
that is true,
Shannon Watts person.
You can make polls say anything.
Oh, was that who it was?
Yeah, it was Mom. Was it Mom's Demand Action or some shit that posted that stat?
Action. Like sounds like a fucking porno.
Yeah, like they were bragging about it. They're like, "Look at this horrible stat," and I looked at it. I'm like, "That's fucking dope, dude. That's dope."
Yeah, we're winning. We're fucking winning.
Fucking awesome. And it's great because then as he's from 4 or 5-year-olds watching Demo and Kentucky Ballistics with his little dinosaur and stuff, and people our age aren't understanding it. And now they get older and they understand the actual importance of the Second Amendment. Hey, guns are really cool. They're fun. Oh, and as I get older, hey, this is actually to protect not just myself and my family. This is to protect the nation. This is to ensure that we are free and we can retain natural rights. Like that's when it gets important, and it all starts from that early content. So I always hate it when people get on Demo Ranch in Kentucky. They're like, "Why would you associate with them?" I'm like, because they're the best version of us and what we do.
Yeah, if you can make guns a core memory with kids, then they'll always be normalized.
Yeah, because people have so many like, "Oh, why aren't you talking about the NFA?" It's like kids don't care about the NFA.
No, they don't.
They don't give a shit.
Don't. If you make a video that's like Fortnite guns tested in real life, perfect.
Yeah,
cool.
Kids will fucking get into that. It's like the video game and movie and like pop culture pipeline to the 2A community is so fucking real. We need people like that. We need people like Demo Ranch. Hell, like Ian Crimsix, we brought him on. He's like a big Call of Duty streamer.
He is
Did
the
a bunch
most
of videos of him running around.
successful. He's the most successful Call of Duty player in the world.
He's literally like best friends with our good buddy Joe.
Yeah,
he lives in Texas and hog hunts with our buddy Joe, who plays games. Actually, funny that you bring him up.
Can you? Because we had him on. I'm trying to convince him to retire from Call of Duty and to be my long range shooting competition partner. Can we just please peer pressure him more? Can we just please peer pressure him more into doing that?
Hey, speaking of long range, did you guys talk with long range with the Lilies?
Yeah,
those guys.
Fantastic recommendation.
Probably the coolest people in the industry.
They're
much cooler than us, to be honest.
So
very dear friends, honestly.
Yes, they are extremely nice. Within when you gave me that recommendation, within like 3 hours of talking to them, I had a much better build than what I was just going to outright buy. I was saving thousands of dollars with this build, and I was much happier with it. Now the difficult part is,
what did you end up building?
I didn't build it yet because it's really fucking difficult to find parts. But it's going to be. I got the build list here. It's a proof barrel.
Yes, of course.
Lone Peak Arms, is that what it's called?
Yep. Yeah.
That action, the titanium action, an MDT chassis, an MDT.
Yep.
Bipod, and was it a Diamond Tech trigger? I think.
Nice. No. What optic are you running?
I'm unsure if I'm going to do a Leopold or if I'm just going to take my Night Force NXS off of my LaRue that I'm selling to fund this whole fucking thing and put that.
Did you take it off your Mosin?
Hey, dude, Leupold offers like a huge discount for military.
Oh no shit.
Yeah,
I rarely use my military discount, but I absolutely will because I don't have money.
You should there, man.
Same. I basically only use it at Under Armour.
So, funny enough, Leupold. Or Leopold, however you want to say it. So I asked them this question because I was like, how the hell do you pronounce your company's name? They claim it's Leupold. So I don't know.
Leupold?
That's what they claim. Yeah, I told him he's full of shit, though, and it's Leopold.
I have their hammer. I have their hammer at Delta Point, and I fucking love it. I love that optic.
Yeah.
Radios.
What's that got to do with what does radios have to do with shutter speed?
That's a good question.
That's a question I have no idea the answer to.
There's no answer. So when I was on with Isaac last, we were talking about the MPU-5.
Yep.
And so I had this class on the MPU-5 with persistent systems, and my eyes are open. So I've done some work with them in the military sphere, and then now that I've gotten like the full course on like how they work and the capabilities, like holy crap. Like this is an incredible, like it's not even it's a radio, but it's like so much more than just a radio.
It's not even, dude, I don't even consider that thing a radio, to be honest.
It's actually a computer because it's an Android computer in there.
It is insane.
Yeah, it can do everything from like controlling like drones to video feeds to I mean, obviously you can run ATAC on it and everything, like everything.
Dude,
like
what company makes it again? What's it called?
Persistent Systems Wave Relay. It's a mobile ad hoc network, MANE, and
I've seen those.
So it's a mesh network. So the more people you have on them, the better they are. So they work really well in urban environments because they can relay off each other. Incredible, and the battery life is actually like, Mitch, you probably talk to this, but like like the 152, like getting like 4 hours or of battery life on that guy. Like these do literally last 8 to 12 hours. Like,
yeesh.
Yeah, dude, really just incredible. Now, of course, they're super expensive. So like, I'm trying to figure out how to talk about it on our videos, because like, it's just the price is definitely high, but I figure we can show like all the way from like tin can with a string all the way up to like the MPU-5 as far as like options,
I have no fucking idea when it comes to that radio specifically, or it sounds like it's just a whole fucking thing.
Yeah, it's amazing, man.
I want it. I've been my ATAC setup is fucking garbage.
I don't know, to be honest. I'm not sure because I think mostly what they do is like pricing for like police departments or or special operations units, but you can buy them. Like they can operate in bands that are good to go. They're just I'm trying to think of what I'm able to say specifically. I would highly recommend reading up on them, like going to the website and reading, because it's just probably the next best thing when it comes to radios. Like are going to be the MPU-5s. I would venture to guess that they're going to take over due to their flexibility in every environment.
So you work with radios. This is unrelated, but I had a
lot. Yeah,
I had a memory. You know the SIG key for ComSec. When I was deployed, one of the staff sergeants didn't know how big a deal that fucking SIG key was. He took it out of my radio and taped it to the inside lid of a tough box. So it's the end of the fucking rotation. We didn't use these radios because we were attached to cool people, and they gave us their radios to use. So we never ended up using our radios. So I didn't find this out until later. We're going to, pack everything up, head on home, and they come for the SIG key. I'm like, it's in the radio, haven't touched it, left it in there. It's been secured in a tough box, which is secured in a room, all these things. And I go to pull it out, and it's not fucking there.
Bro.
I tell you, he forgot that he did this to fuck with me, by the way. He completely forgot.
Jesus.
It's a literal prison time. It's fucking prison time if you lose one of those things. But so I'm getting fucking anxiety thinking about it. This was one of the worst days of my fucking life. For like 24 hours.
So much.
For like 24 hours, I'm running around trying to find this fucking SIG key. Like people, like obviously the company commander at this point knows, fucking First Sergeant knows, and they're looking at me like I'm a retard, and I'm like, I have no fucking idea what happened to the SIG key. Left in the radio was secure. I understand I'm signed for this particular radio. It was locked in here. I never went in here. We never even went in this fucking room. Like I'm freaking the fuck out. And it gets to the point after like a day, I just accept it. I'm like,
you're going to prison.
Yeah, like,
Enjoy
I'm going to prison,
Leavenworth, man.
Career's over. Like everything is done for the rest of my life. This motherfucker, he's a drill sergeant right now, and I text him all the time because I get soldiers, and I tell them this. I get soldiers that he trained, and I'm like, yeah, fuck that guy. Like
let me tell you a story.
Like very unprofessional. But yeah, finally, he's like, because he knows how big of a deal this is. He's like, I need to go to the comm room, and we're like, okay, like why? And he comes back out. He's like, and he tried to play it off like he was like, hey, cuz, you fucking idiot, I found it. And I'm like, where? Like, what the fuck? Where'd you find it? He was like, it was in the tough box. I'm like, no, it fucking wasn't. I tore apart that fucking room. Like, I tore apart everything. And it eventually came out, because there's obviously an investigation at this fucking point. It eventually came out that this motherfucker was trying to fuck with me. And he thought it'd be funny, and he didn't understand how big of a deal it was.
Did he get fucked, or was he okay?
He didn't get fucked, but something happened. And it wasn't enough for me to be like, yeah, I feel better about this now. But, it is what it is.
Yeah, it is what it is.
It is what it is. But
yeah, you got to be careful with that ComSec, man. It's a big deal.
Oh, I didn't know how. I knew it was a big deal. I didn't realize how big a deal it was until that SIG key went missing. And that's what I thought of when you mentioned the new radio MP5.
Well, I mean, you hear all the time about like certain like phrases or keywords that are used in certain communications, like being on the knee board of like a pilot, and he's flying his helicopter and it gets sucked out through the window, and it's like you burn an entire area, and then they have to get redone. So yeah, I mean, that's a big deal, man.
It's fucking huge. It stresses me out. I'm stressed out now thinking about it.
You don't need to be stressed out.
This was years ago too.
Serenity now, man.
Like years later.
You guys want to know the bane of my existence?
Is it losing the SIG key?
It is Mike talking with another person who's been in the military about the military.
Fuck, I'm sorry.
He hates it so much.
It's literally the bane of my existence. Every time we meet somebody and it's like, oh yeah, this guy's military, I'm like, do I go to that event or not? Because
hey, tell him how we talk. What do we say?
Yeah, if ABC messes with ZDG and we do down to the CFU, and let's head over to the non-permissive environment in the QP13, and I'm just like, Mike, shut the fuck up.
I'm sorry. I'm
Like,
sure there's
honestly,
a lot of people.
bro, like, I don't know what your ZB32 is, but like, I don't care what your ZB32 is.
All right, what do you care about then? You care about fucking cameras, fucking airsoft.
He likes anime. He's a fucking nerd.
I don't
You like anime,
bro.
Yeah,
you don't like anime?
I do not like anime,
oh, Mike,
bro.
watch Attack on Titans. It's so good.
Attack on Titans
Guess what?
fucking
It
dope.
wasn't good. No, it was terrible, dude. It was like literally 1 minute of, okay, I'm going to go attack this Titan. And then like 20 minutes of background where it's just his face like sweating. And he's like, if I don't kill this Titan, my family and my mother could die. And I'm like, yo, Micah, how the fuck do you watch this shit?
Yo, listen. I told you to watch the wrong one, but at least I don't listen to
did I watch the
DBLS.
wrong? Did I watch the wrong Attack on Titans?
Hey,
Mike,
what? I'm moving.
Go to fucking page for anime
C,
advice.
and I'm gonna go raid building ZBLF in a non-permissive environment
with
my fellow JTAG ZB13s.
Yo, Mike, I'm gonna go recce that butthole, dude.
Bro, you got a lot of wrecking doing because I'm just saying, bro, that shit wide. I'm just saying, bro.
For real though, Attack on Titans, I couldn't take it, man. It was,
I actually liked Attack on Titan. I watched the
okay,
first
it
season.
is good, but like honestly, like if you're gonna watch any anime ever, watch Demon Slayer and then stop watching anime.
Pokemon fucking slaps. I grew up on that shit.
That's not even anime.
Fuck you, that's anime.
Hey, you know what my favorite anime is?
What?
Spirited Away.
That's anime.
Fucking Miyazaki's
That's good
dope.
anime.
Yeah.
No, what the fuck? Last time I said that, you're like, that's not anime,
Studio
Mike.
Ghibli, bro.
You're like,
Studio
Studio
Ghibli
Ghibli is like Americanized bullshit, and fuck you, Mike.
Wait,
Micah, get off this podcast. You're not welcome anymore.
No. He's lying. He's making me look bad. If you know, Mike, I got so much shit on you, bro. Like I
you don't fuck
look
the
so
Studio
bad
Ghibli,
right now, but I'm not
Ghibli.
gonna do that.
What does Mike
I'm
think
just
about
kidding.
cat ears? That's the important question.
Cat ears? You know what's funny is
Put on the cat ears.
that's actually Mike's biggest kink. Like people don't know that, but he's obsessed with cat ears.
Just like puts the cat ears on, looks at himself, and just masturbates.
What's that picture of the girl with the cat ears holding the gun at you, and it says, "Put on the cat ears"?
Yes.
We're going to show Lucas that meme whenever he comes on next. Or This month.
You know what's funny about that?
I saw that meme like yesterday.
One of the only people I haven't met in this entire industry is Lucas, and I feel like he's one of the people I should have met at this point, but I haven't.
Have you not met him?
I've literally never talked to Lucas. I think he followed me like a week or two ago.
Dude, he's super busy. Like super busy.
I mean, I get it.
So the cat ears, because Lucas posted that whole thing about cat ears, and everyone freaked out because they can't take a joke. But I posted a video wearing cat ears for like 1 3-second segment of a drill in like an MP5 video that got like 0 views like 3 years ago. Somebody found that clip and used that as a counter meme, and I'm always impressed.
Oh, that's incredible.
I'm impressed that people are able to point this and pick this stuff out. That's some dedication.
I think people want to start shit between you and Lucas. I really think they do.
Yeah, people like drama
it happens
too much.
so much.
Well, dude, like I tell them, there's hella drama. Like WWE, my favorite memories. So like if I can bring that same joy to these people, 100%, I will start a grudge match for no reason other than to get that WWE like.
I still want the wrestling match between you and Lucas, or the boxing match, or whatever.
Oh,
any hand-to-hand combat match, I want it to happen between you and Lucas.
You know, speaking of you and Lucas, you told us a story about how you were there when he like actively was like, yeah, we're not going to wear camo anymore. We're going to focus more on kind of like the civilian attire. Yeah, I asked him about that, and he's like, bro, what the fuck are you talking about? Except he said that in a much nicer way.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I was like, what, am I stupid? Like, did I misremember something?
Maybe I recalled it wrong, but I could have sworn that was the conversation that was had. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I completely made it up in my head, but I thought that it was a conscious effort and a conscious decision, because Lucas is very
he's deliberate.
He's very deliberate in what he does. So I maybe I'm wrong, man. And if so, then I of course apologize for that. But,
you know what the best part about Lucas is?
What?
Everyone that I went to high school with that's into guns, it's weird because he has less followers than Mike, but like everyone that I know follows Lucas and doesn't follow Mike. Like I feel like he has this weird draw towards people who aren't into guns, who somehow find Lucas T-Rex arms and they go, "Do you know T-Rex arms?"
I think
and like I don't know what it is, but like I think Lucas targets the non-gun community harder than any other.
He did mention that's a lot of his kind of mission statement is,
and he does well.
Yeah, he does really well.
Really well with it.
Yeah, his latest video is like the Modern Warfare 2 gun. We have one in full auto. How good is it?
Perfect. Yeah, I love it. Dude.
It's clever. And like him and Crimsix getting together and all of that. It's to get people into it and we've talked about this in the podcast before. It is really easy to talk to gun people. It's really easy to talk to people who already fucking agree with us. It's getting those people who don't know.
You're right. You're right.
And Mike, you're really good at it. Lucas is really good at it. Like, and like Kentucky Ballistics and like Demolition Ranch and all that are probably really fucking good at it.
Yeah.
I don't know where I was going with this, so I'm just going to end that here.
No, it's good. I loved your rant very much.
I think
I also like your blue drink. It reminds me of. Have you ever seen Trailer Park Boys?
Yes, that's actually filmed where I am.
Do you
been to the park.
Know the episode where Mr. Leahy actually bathes in a swimming pool full of blue liqueur for a week straight?
Yeah.
That's you right now.
Yes. I'm going to just out myself really bad and say my mix right now is pre-workout.
Oh my god!
Bro, what? It's like
and what?
It's like 11 p.m. for you.
Oh my god! I think that's a heart attack.
Jesus Christ, dude!
Do you want to die, Nathan?
I think you're going to die from that.
I think I might.
Nathan, come on, bro.
I have a book contract that I have to work on tonight, so this will even me out.
I'm pretty sure they banned Four Loko from like grocery stores because it was killing people.
People were dying. Nathan, people were dying. It's not a joking matter.
And you're just encouraging it.
Yeah, what the fuck, dude.
Oh, I'm a bad person. All right. Okay. Yes.
Well,
no, this is very somber. People died from the Four Loko. I shouldn't drink this.
Oh my god!
I appreciate you two coming on, Micah. We were gonna have you on just as an episode with yourself until Mike decided to butt in.
Come back, man.
Basically,
you know what, man?
Third co-host.
If you guys want to have me on in an episode where Mike isn't here, where we don't talk about ZBLF, 13s, QRS, TU, DMVs,
we got to go do the DP
environments.
Yes.
Hey, Mike,
then
you know what is the bane of my existence?
What, firing Micah?
I was just gonna say, people that are expendable talking shit.
Oh my god!
Oh man,
that's hilarious.
We'll definitely have to have you on. You kind of deep dive into you and what you were doing.
Yeah,
ask you the same questions.
And Mike, you're still invited. You should crash it.
Mike is he's the third.
I feel like I'm not gonna lie, guys. This podcast is coming to an end, but I feel like Mike really fucked up my limelight.
But in all seriousness, we should do a solo episode with you. That'd be good.
I'd love it.
Yeah, and check your fucking inbox. I sent you some chicken recipes.
I am down. I'm gonna air fry that shit out of
air fried fucking chicken. I'm going to go make some more to just meal prep for the rest of my week. I think.
Hell yeah!
We're gonna
meal
be
prep
good.
is much better when you're over caffeinated and also drunk.
Yeah, I fucking love you guys. I love talking.
If you're still alive by the time I cook that chicken, I'll let you know how it is.
Please.
We're going to be good professional podcast hosts and actually talk about our sponsors in the episode.
Right. That's the thing. Raid Shadow Legends.
Oh, yeah. If Raid Shadow Legends wants to reach out and sponsor us, pay us a lot of money, please. AWS, Advanced Warfighting Solutions.
Yeah, they rock, dude.
Yeah, they're great. They're awesome.
Like AWS, Advanced Warfighting. Did it cut, or did you just fuck that up?
I fucked it up.
Okay.
But it's all right. They make great equipment, including belts, and you should get one. We don't get any kickback. You should just go check them out because they're good people. They make good equipment. And,
AWS is really good. I just got their assault pack, which thank you, Mitch, for sending that to me. And it's basically my daily pack now. I don't care that I look like a retard walking around with a multicam bag. It's really nice.
I wasn't going to say it. Those are your words, not mine.
Yeah. Yes. No, I am very self-aware about how retarded I am.
all of our guests get a belt, but Micah's already denied it, saying that he already has way too much shit, which I believe. But Micah, if you want a belt for coming on, all of our guests get it.
You said Micah turned down the belt, not Mike.
I think he said Mike turned down the belt. Like, he said after Mike, which makes you fucked that up kind of.
Yeah, but Micah, you should take the belt because it's a nice belt.
Yeah, if you want the belt, you can have the belt.
I mean,
all of our guests get one.
Yeah, it's pretty.
Unless you have like 30 of them already and you don't fucking need one, then whatever.
Yeah. No, I think I have like 29 or 28.
Yeah.
Okay,
no,
so this one
even 30
will complete the connection. And then Midwest Armor, we convinced them to take all of their leftover government steel body armor and turn them into targets.
Yeah.
And we are including our own illustrated targets with each order with that. So that's pretty cool. Go shoot steel body armor that are now turned into targets because that is all that they are good for.
Yes. And also they sell plates and plate carriers as well.
Actually,
I really like mine.
Ceramic plates like Hesco's.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And apparently they also do they have at least in the past done bulletproof work for cars, which I find really interesting. And this isn't an advertisement at all. I actually went to them because I think just for the meme, I kind of want to have my Prius bulletproof. I think it'd be a big meme.
I'm sorry, I interrupted you and I didn't hear what you said because this is definitely an advertisement.
Oh, no, well, this part's not an advertisement. It turns out that they've done armor work for vehicles, and I kind of want to just, like, as a meme, send my Prius in to get bulletproofed.
You fucking won't, dude. Don't talk about it. Be about it.
Dude, are we Black Rifle Coffee?
I already fucking talked. No, we're not Black Rifle Coffee, but I want to get my Prius bulletproof, man.
That's actually our goal. One of our goals this year is to beat their podcast. So,
damn, nice
with our own brand of gun coffee that we're going to make.
Yeah.
Nice.
Oh, can we talk about fucking Joe Rogan for a second? That whole fucking mess. No.
What about Joe Rogan?
It's too late.
What happened with Joe Rogan? That's
that whole thing with fucking Neil Young and all that. They're trying to.
What happened? Who the hell is Neil Young?
Dude,
yo, we're about to get into a conversation that's going to last an hour.
Yeah, no, this is for next time. When our third guest and possibly the third host comes back. Yeah, no, that I could yell about that for a while.
Yeah, I don't know what the fuck went on with that, but anyways, yeah, thanks for coming on, guys, and please, Micah, talk about yourself. Where can people find you? Why people should start, coming and pestering you about stuff that you do behind the scenes and be thankful for you.
I am at Micah Mayfield. That's Micah, not how Mika, like most people would spell it. On Instagram, I'm shadow banned, so you got to type out the entire name in order to find me. And the reason you should follow me is because I post embarrassing things that Mike would never post to his own Instagram.
Yeah, that's actually true.
Oh yeah, speaking of, you have the fucking, I see you're also a cursed Mosin enjoyer yourself.
Oh my God.
That is my pride and joy. That could be talked about in a future podcast. There's so much involved with that Mosin going on right now.
I want to know.
Wait,
it's hard to talk about.
Did our peer pressuring campaign work?
Yes.
Yes.
Thank God.
Single-handedly.
I love it. I fucking love it. Well, thank you guys for coming on. Mike, you're a co-host, so you don't get to show yourself. I'm sorry.
Yep.
Check out his Patreon. It's actually pretty cool.
Yes. Patreon. And also ours. We publish things early sometimes.
No, it's pretty based.
Ooh.
Based in Micah Pild?
Based in Micah Pild.
Micah, dad advice to close it out.
Oh no, Mike, I've never done this.
No.
I've always filmed this. I've never done the dad advice.
It's fucking time, Micah.
Oh no, I've never prepared for this. Okay, dad advice. Real talk. Stop modeling or pursuing the things you see on yourself after the things you see on the internet. Develop a sense of style for yourself. There's a reason that I wear Japanese selvage denim to the range. Okay, I stand out. Okay, I'm not saying look like a retard like I do at the range, but I am saying develop your own style and wear it with confidence. Okay.
There we go.
Don't copy someone else's.
Put on the fucking cat ears.
Put on the cat ears or die.
Oh yeah.
Good times.